He's out of Atlantic City, New Jersey, a starting wide receiver for them. And that is Jimmy Kibble, a redshirt freshman from Manassas, Virginia. He's got the strongest leg of the Virginia Tech kickers. He also can handle some punting chores. And Kibble will hope to send this deep as we get it started. What kind of game are you looking forward to, Coach?
Well, one thing is we have beautiful weather here now. It looks like we're going to get the game in before the rain comes. So it's a lovely afternoon here in Blacksburg. And I'm anxious to see just exactly how they move on the first series, Rutgers, with their offense.
Harper backpedaling. What a kick out of the end zone for Jimmy Kibble. Now the Scarlet Knights will tee it up, 1st and 10 at their own 20. There's the 5th-year senior Mike Stevens. He's a third baseman on Rutgers baseball team, and 350 be good in baseball, but when you throw 35% completions in college football, that's not good enough. And his coach says he's got to come through on 3rd downs for us to be successful today.
He might be a 5th-year senior, but he also is a 1st-year quarterback. He's really inexperienced, but he's the best that Rutgers has at the present time.
The give is to the fullback, Melvin Cobbs. I'll tell you what, Virginia Tech's so tough to run against. We'll see if the Scarlet Knights can do it today. If they can, it'll be because of Chad Bosch, the senior, a hard-running, inside, tough tailback. Cobbs starting at fullback today. Jack McKiernan, a key man. He calls the offensive fronts for the Scarlet Knights. And that offensive front will have their work cut out for them today against a very tenacious 8-man front for Virginia Tech. This is Bosch, breaks a couple of tackles and picks up 5, maybe 6 to the 26-yard line. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 4 for Rutgers. And as we look at our crispy Wheaties and Raisins starting lineup, Cornell Brown, the most celebrated defender here at Virginia Tech since the great Bruce Smith. Linebackers, keep your eye on Myron Newsom. He's only 5'9", but this man plays it sideline to sideline. And Antonio Banks at right corner, Torian Gray at free safety, both NFL prospects for Virginia Tech.
First big test for Mike Stevens right here. First big test.
3rd down, we'll call it 5. And on the delay, here's Bosch. And he comes up just a yard shy of a 1st down. So the draw play looked good, but Torian Gray, the free safety, closed on it. And we will see the Rutgers punt team led by Jared Slovin, the junior from Tucson. And there are the numbers on Bosch. He was injured in the opener, sat out the last 2 games with a bruised shoulder. But Jared Slovin will send it to Angelo Harrison.
Number 24, Slovin, back at punt formation.
Low snap. Virginia Tech very good at blocking punts and kicks. And Harrison settles under it at the 40-yard line. A 30-yard punt, no return. No score. Rutgers punting to Virginia Tech, and we'll be right back. Hitting with 52% of his completions through the first 2 games, and out of a gun, he'll throw it on 1st down and find his man. 1st down in the Rutgers territory. The catch made by Sean Scales, the junior out of Woodbridge, Virginia. A nice pickup, 14 yards on 1st down. Chiron Stiff, he goes from a freshman whose name was unknown here in Blacksburg to a big-time starter. Bill Connolly plays with pins in both his ankles, coming off fractures of both. So Virginia Tech in a Rutgers territory at the 43. This is the big fullback, Brian Edmonds. He scored twice last week at Boston, gets just a yard. Charles Woolridge and Chris Sabula in on the tackle. Rashad Swinger, their senior, the best they have up front.
And he's going to have to make some big plays defensively to keep Virginia Tech's offense under guard here.
Bryant's a good sack man, and Thomas Kelly at free safety. He's Rutgers' top tackler through their first 3 ball games.
They're right into their no-huddle offense all the way right again. They've had a shotgun play and the quarterback under the ball. Here he comes back under the ball.
2nd down, 8 to go for Virginia Tech, their first possession. This is Stiff, tripped up right at the line of scrimmage by number 11, Aaron Brady. He's a sophomore out of Hanover, Pennsylvania, and they say he's been their most consistent linebacker.
Well, he certainly had a great hit there. He was nice and low and driving and made no forward progress for the young Stiff boy.
Well, that brings up a 3rd down here for Virginia Tech. It'll be 3rd down and 6. The Hokies going out of the no huddle. They love this offense.
It's been very successful for them, and they understand what they're doing. He's checking off every play right at the line of scrimmage.
Miller with plenty of time. With fastball, and he has Sean Scales again. This time out of bounds at the Rutgers 26. Interesting, Scales had just 3 catches first 2 weeks. He has 2 on this drive. That a pickup of 16 yards.
Excellent play action, and he put a great move on Peter Clark, the corner from Rutgers.
Well, the offensive line, the Clydesdales, as they call them here in Blacksburg, giving Druckenmiller all the time he needs.
I don't know if they're Clydesdales, but I'll tell you one thing. They're big, and they're strong, and they're efficient.
1st and 10. Virginia Tech's second first down on their opening drive. Drive that began at their own 41. This is Stiff, the freshman. Breaks 1 tackle and gets inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. So Chiron Stiff, a true freshman from Chesapeake, Virginia, picks up nearly 7 yards on first down.
And that's an option football play, which is part of their offense, the shotgun. It's just a magnificent offense that Ricky Bussell and the offensive staff at Virginia Tech has put together, and they know exactly what they're doing, and they've got a senior quarterback that's running it extremely well.
Well, the Hokies picking up right where they left off a week ago in their 45-7 win at Boston College, and they have been efficient inside the 20 this year. Druckenmiller going for the end zone and overshot his tight end Brian Jennings, who he connected with twice a week ago for touchdowns.
It looked on that play like Brian Jennings thought somebody else was coming in for the football, because I think he could have made a little bit better stab. I think he thought that Jimmy threw it to somebody else.
There's Brian Jennings, 15 consecutive games with at least 1 catch. He's a 2-year starter. Keep in mind, Jim Druckenmiller has quite a streak going. 11 consecutive games with at least 1 touchdown pass.
Almost have him right there. And by the way, Jennings is one of the best tight ends in the country in 1996.
3rd and 4 for Chiron Stiff. He turns the corner, penalty marker down, and Stiff finally roped down at the 7-yard line.
Flag on the play. Holding.
He picked up a dozen yards, but is likely to return. Chiron Stiff, very shifty ball carrier.
Just an excellent football play. That you watch the tackle get up here, and he's so happy with the great play that he made, and just an excellent football play. But they get somebody holding on the inside here. I didn't see the holding. It certainly was a great block.
Looking at Chiron Stiff, Coach, one of the things Frank Beamer said he loved most about him, he runs right to the goal line and he holds on to the football. Just 18 years old is Chiron Stiff.
He's 3 weeks college football-wise out of high school. It's been a great find for them. And another one of those outstanding freshman fullbacks or freshman running backs in the Big East.
Well, we saw one last week in West Virginia's Amos Zaraway. A 3rd down and 12 here for the Hokies to keep their first drive alive. 10.5 left in a scoreless first quarter. Druckenmiller being chased out of the pocket by Sabula. He will keep it. Big, strong Jim Druckenmiller picks up 11 yards. He needed a dozen. So a decision for Frank Beamer. He'll face a 4th down and 1.
I think it's an interesting thing, but that is why Jim Druckenmiller is liked so much by his football team. He's admired so much by the offensive line. He's big and strong, and he's going for the win. He's giving up his body, trying to work for that first down. That gets everybody all fired up.
And this is a guy that is a warrior in the Virginia Tech weight room. He bench presses 350 pounds, a marvel. And Ricky Bussell, their offensive coordinator, told us he is a terrific quarterback for us.
That's a compliment.
The chain gang on the far side. On a measurement, it will be inches shy, about a half-yard shy of a first down.
The interesting thing here is that this is the first 4th down play that Frank Beamer decided to go on. Here he is on the 22-yard line and going. No, he's on the 17-yard line, isn't he? 17-yard line in field goal range. But again, he's trying to show his offensive line early in the game that he has great confidence in him, and they're going to try to move the ball across the line of scrimmage.
Frank Beamer, he's handled his success extraordinarily well. Unanimous choice as Big East Coach of the Year last season, a season that was capped with a Sugar Bowl win over Texas. Fourth and short. Stiff bangs for the first down. Hard charging Chiron Stiff penetrates the 15, moves the chains, keeps the drive alive for the Hokies.
Again, now you're talking about a freshman, you're talking about a good seal, but he's making sure that he's running hard and getting the first down. Move the chains, and now they've got everything going for him. Excellent play by Chiron Smith.
A drive that began at Virginia Tech's own 40-yard line continues. Cornelius White, top of your screen. Sean Scales to the bottom. And Brian Edmonds, the big fullback. Hard man to bring down. Wow. Brian Edmonds to the 6-yard line. He gains 8. And I'll tell you what, he was giving quite a ride to number 19, Gil Ross, the 185-pound linebacker. Edmonds goes about 250.
You see a quarterback. You see the quarterback set the pace the way he did. You see the halfback run for the first down, and now you see the fullback dominating with tremendous power out of his 250 pounds.
He's a crushing blocker out of Blackstone, Virginia, but he likes to run with it too. Had 5 carries, 2 of them for touchdowns last weekend. Druckenmiller went to one knee. He's very good at drawing the defense off sides with that count. And we do get penalty markers down. The Virginia Tech offensive line applauding. It's likely to be against the Scarlet Knights. Our Big East officiating crew.
Half the distance of the goal for this situation.
It was Sean Devlin, number 55,
Offside.
the right tackle that jumped.
Defense, half the distance to the goal. It'll
We
be enough
opened
for
up the
first
show
down.
by saying he's strong mentally as well. He takes advantage of that. So if the official's going to let the play go, he's going to have a 3 or 4 yard gain with his quarterback sneak. That's alert football all the way around. They're playing excellent offense, but you also have to give credit to the Rutgers defense. They're making them pay on every play.
Frank Beamer told his team Thursday after practice, respect your opponent, come ready to play. Virginia Tech has. And it capped their first drive with a score. This is Stiff. And Chiron Stiff into the end zone. His 5th touchdown in his first year.
You know, there's nothing to take the football and march it down the field in your opening offensive drive and do it the way they did it. They had to pound the ball out, make the throws to make the 3rd down catch. They did it all in the first series to make a statement to Rutgers right off the bat.
Chiron Stiff leading the Big East in scoring his 5th rushing touchdown. And we are just underway in weekend number 3 for Virginia Tech. So the Stiff story continues to be an amazing one.
Well, you can see that everybody seems to want to take care of him out there. Jimmy Edmonds, the fullback, just made a great block. Kibble here, and the amazing thing, he almost kicked the ball out of the end zone last time. Let's see where he gets it this time.
And this one goes out of bounds. Rutgers will get much better field position to start their second drive as Jimmy Kibble goes back to the bench, picks up the tee. And there's your scoring drive. 11 plays officially, 59 yards, almost 5 minutes. Frank Beamer's got to feel good about the efficiency of his offense right now.
Also, Rutgers has got to feel good about the official marking the football out of bounds, just going out of bounds on the 2 as a win in the end zone. So now the ball is on the 35 instead of the 20. Big break for Rutgers to get this field position, which they so surely need as they start to come back against a 7-0 lead on their second drive.
Terry Shea, he also handles the duties as offensive coordinator, and his group, 5 straight scoreless quarters, no touchdowns in their last 2 games. Harper in motion. And Stevens dropped the snap, but penalty markers fly.
I think you find the right guard there. Brian Raftery is the one that went offside. It's kind of mistimed all over the place.
Offense, 5 yards.
I don't blame that Rutgers front for a false start. This is an imposing defensive front for the Hokies.
There it is, just just as we said, the right guard, Brian Raftery, is the one that went offside in the play. And this is what you don't want to happen to you if you are Rutgers. First down and 15 against a tremendous defense like this. You want to stay on schedule. You can't have little mistakes of offsides because it ruins the momentum, and it's going to be hard enough to make 10 yards in 3 downs. This field position.
Chad Bosch in the game along with Melvin Cobbs as Rutgers running backs. And the officials asking for the timeout to reset the clock. Scarlet Knights won their opener against Villanova. They forced 6 turnovers in that game. Lost their second game, the Navy, 10-6, without Chad Bosch, who was injured. And then lost a week and a half ago at home against Miami, 33-0, but they hung in that game. It was just a 6-0 game at halftime.
They did a great job in the first half and played with a lot of motion. Played hard the whole football game, actually.
On 1st and 15, Bosch on the draw, and he was drawn right down. A pickup of just a yard for Chad Bosch. A lot of maroon around the ball carrier. Torian Gray, the free safety. Myron Newsom, the linebacker.
I think
also
the whole
Brandon
team.
Simonis, the other outside backer, in on the stop.
Well, Eric, as you mentioned yesterday as we were with the coaches, that this is an outstanding tackling football team. They tackle better than anybody else I know of in the country. It's a tremendous Virginia Tech football team defensively tackling.
A spot for Rutgers. Stevens with time. Stevens with a man, and it's almost intercepted. Antonio Banks stepping in front of Andy Holland. He nearly had it picked.
Well, they're playing with great courage coming at the ball. Didn't play pass defense that time. Played receiver and was going after the ball tremendously. Outstanding protection by the Rutgers line here. That gave Mike Stevens any chance to get the job done, and he's getting it from that standpoint.
Antonio Banks, terrific cover man. He had an interception in the 4th quarter of last Saturday's game at Boston College. Had a 65-yard touchdown on a pick in last year's win against the Cavaliers of Virginia. A 3rd and throw for the Scarlet Knights. Again, Stevens has time, and again he finds his man, Andy Holland, running the slant to the 36-yard line. A 5-yard gain, well shy of a Rutgers first down.
How is the quarterback going to do on 3rd down? Are they not going to make mistakes? At least they kept the football, allowing them to punt and try to put Virginia Tech in the hole so they don't give them just 60 yards to go for a touchdown. They're too strong otherwise. Rutgers punter up.
That's Angelo Harrison. He's the punt returner, Jared Sloven. Almost got it blocked. And this one rolls out at the Virginia Tech 36-yard line. So the Hokies been impressive so far at 2-0. They've been impressive so far in this.
They really served the purpose, only a 27-yard punt, and they know that they can get pressure on this young man, and they're also letting him know that they get pressure. It's going to affect the Rutgers punting game from now on. And only a 27-yard punt, which again gives Virginia Tech great field position, only 64 yards away from the end zone.
First time the Hokies touched it, they went 11 plays, 59 yards, putting on an offensive clinic a week ago and starting in that same vein this Saturday. Druckenmiller, quick strike, and a nice grab made by Angelo Harrison up at the 42-yard line. A 7-yard gain for the sophomore out of Spotsville, Virginia. Harrison was a big-time special teams performer last year. Matter of fact, he blocked 4 kicks as a true freshman, 2 in 1 game.
See, the wide receivers had so much improved over last year, even though they had greater skill. All they're doing is making sure they make the catch and move the ball, move the chains. It's much more discipline from the outside, and they're doing a fine job for Jim Druckenmiller.
2nd down and 4. Stiff on the swing, 1st down. And Stiff battling across midfield in the Rutgers territory. An 8-yard gain on the flip from Druckenmiller.
Fast, quick, moves, gets great lateral moves, spins, and hangs onto the football. All you want in a running back as far as running the ball is concerned. Can he block? Can he pick up pass protection? That's what probably they're afraid of at Virginia Tech. But as far as running the ball, he's already made himself a mark in the Big East. He's something to be aware of.
And he has really improved his pass running routes, catching the ball out of the backfield. Stiff, again breaking the tackle line of scrimmage. This is a tough young man to bring down. But he is stopped on the play by Sean Devlin, the right side tackle. That'll be 2nd down and 8 for Virginia Tech. 5:40 and counting left in the first quarter. Hokies leading it 7-zip. Tyrone Stiff, he had plus 100 yards in the opener. First Virginia Tech freshman to gain over 100 yards in a game since Vaughn Hebron did it back in 1989. Miller looking for Stewie, and he gets it to Michael Stewie. A first down gain for the Rutgers 37-yard line. Another 12-yard gain. Druckenmiller dialing only right numbers.
I think Peter Clark is a little accept as a corner because he really put pressure on him, and he thought that the receiver was going to be out of bounds on the thing. Let's watch it real close here.
Michael Stewie, a great
call by the
success
defense.
story here in Virginia Tech. A former walk-on. He's improved his speed, his routes. They are really pleased with him. That was his 5th catch this year. Another first down for Virginia Tech. This is Edmonds. Charles Woolridge from behind brought down Brian Edmonds, the big fullback.
Tackle made by number 87.
Pick up of 5 yards.
And plus, what you've seen in 2 Jim Edmonds carries, he is running over people, carrying people with him as he is running. It's only the first quarter. Rutgers has got to take him on and drive him back a few times because they're going to tire themselves out the way he's beaten on him. Excellent call, excellent play.
2nd down, 5 to go for this Virginia Tech juggernaut. Miller has time, finds Sean Scales. That's a short gain. And let's send it back to our Big East studio and John Sanders.
Number 11, Brady.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. Here's an update from the studio. A top 10.
But nothing, and the Hokies marching again, looking at a 3rd down and 1. Nice cut back by Stiff. He has enough for the first down. Coach, so far, Jim Druckenmiller been razor sharp. 5 for 6, 61 yards throwing in this first quarter.
Well, he actually hesitated on the last play and waited too long to throw the football to the receiver, which cost him the first down. He quickly looked over to his coach, let him know that he was the one that he was getting a little greedy, was going along, had the delay pattern coming out. They should have hit it a little bit sooner.
And they will bring out the sticks for the measurement.
I don't even think it's close.
I didn't think so either, and it's not.
First down, Hokies.
Now the Scarlet Knights backs to the wall on defense. They need to ball control it offensively to give this defense, relieve some of the pressure on them.
Well, you've got to give the Rutgers defense credit because they're making them earn everything. They're not exploding, even though it's a gambling type defense. They're playing hard and clean and staying right with them.
Druckenmiller keeps it. Druckenmiller still on his feet. Druckenmiller down to the 1-yard line. Jim Druckenmiller kept it, went 24 yards. He had to enjoy that ride.
Well, I tell you, this is one of the joys of watching a leader, a strong-willed guy that wants to win. And this is why Virginia Tech is these kind of leaders. Cornell Brown, all these wonderful kids make it a determined effort to do more than they can do. It's very, very exciting to watch, and it's fun to be around the Virginia Tech team when they're 12 wins in a row.
The Rutgers tackling a little shabby. Virginia Tech running right through tackles.
Well, I think that, you know, you're 6'4", 235. It's hard to bring a guy down in the open field with defensive backs. Just a wonderful option play.
1st and goal from the 3. Stiff, but whistles blow. Well, Chiron Stiff been the go-to man inside that 5-yard line. That's our referee, R.G. Detalay, out of the New Orleans region.
Delay a game. Offense. 5 yards. Replay it down. First down.
Instead of first and goal from the 3, it will be first and goal from the 8.
Yeah.
5 yards marked off on Virginia Tech's delay of game penalty.
It's all Jim Druckenmiller that causes these things, but you can't have a mistake down in this area. First and goal on the 3. Should be able to get it in with the wonderful offensive line. Now you're going to have to work a little bit harder from the 8. 8 in is a tough defensive move.
Stitt picks up 3 yards.
Number 38, Smith.
Tyrone Stitt really taking people by surprise. He played in just 5 high school games last year due to injuries, but he did gain 670 yards and run for 11 touchdowns. But no one, even Stitt himself, expected this kind of immediate impact.
Well, he wouldn't have had if we didn't have the injuries they had and all the problems they had with the running backs. And what he did was take advantage of the opportunity, which is what every football player should do and wish for, that they had a chance.
On second and goal from the 5, Druckenmiller has a man, and Virginia Tech has a touchdown to Cornelius White. His first touchdown catch of the year, and the Hokies are rolling here in Blacksburg.
Now, this is an excellent call down here on the 5-yard line. Great bootleg fake. Wide receiver coming across, wide open in the end zone. Knew exactly where he was. Against the zone, they hit the zone seam. Made a wonderful football play.
This is Shane Graham, his high school holder, doing it for him.
Just down the road here in Pulaski.
Was touched. Melvin Cobbs chasing it into the end zone. And Rutgers will get it at their own 20-yard line with 1:48 left in this opening quarter in Blacksburg.
You know, you're talking about the Virginia Tech team. You're talking about a long field goal man that kicks, freshman. You have another freshman that kicks off the ball to the end zone. It bodes well for the special teams for the next 4 years at Virginia Tech. Those kind of things are really make a program sound and solid and makes coaching look good because they always function so well. Again, they're starting with 80 yards to go, Rutgers is. It's a long way against a vaunted defense, Virginia Tech.
Rutgers still looking for a first down. Mike Stevens in his second start as a quarterback. Has some time, sending it deep, and he has his tight end, Jason Curry. A big gainer up to the 48-yard line, where he was spilled hard by Antonio Banks, but a 28-yard strike from quarterback to tight end.
They overloaded to the wide side of the football field and just had him outnumbered in the air, and Mike really hit this well right down the seam.
Jason
The
Curry.
tight end did a great job of hanging on his football with all the things going on.
I like
Jason
that
Curry,
tackle.
again, is one of the strong people and one of the veterans for the Rutgers team. They need more people like Jason to get this program going.
You see the numbers for Curry this year. He sat behind an All-American last year in Marco Battaglia. How big was Battaglia as Rutgers tight end? Well, he caught 69 balls, 10 for touchdowns his senior season.
And a wonderful representative of college football in Rutgers University besides. He's just an exciting kid and a very likable one. What you like in college football.
Terry Shea, he wrote a book on quarterbacks. He molds a great relationship with his quarterbacks, takes pride in developing them. And he's working with Stevens, who was a former walk-on at Tennessee, played one game against Kentucky back in '92. A surprise starter for sure for Rutgers. He did not play spring ball because he was playing baseball for the Scarlet Knights and did not initially compete for the starting job against Corey Valentine and Ralph Sacca this fall, but Terry Shea finally decided on him, said he's our most gifted passer, has the best mechanics, and basically said our best chance to win is playing Mike Stevens. He gives us our best passing edge. And right now, he's given Rutgers their initial first down of the game with 1:30 left in the first quarter. This is their big young fullback, Gary Fauntleroy. He's a sophomore out of Swedesboro, New Jersey. Now, he's a guy that sat out last year because of academics, but you're talking about one of the highly regarded players in New Jersey high school history. Gained over 5,000 yards and scored 57 touchdowns as a high school performer.
Brad Baylor made a nice, wasn't going to be moved out of it at all, but set right in the hole and made a nice tackle.
Against Miami in their last game, Rutgers got across midfield just twice. They're trying to right here, and Chad Bosch lucky to catch that screen. Boy, heat was coming from the rover Pearson Prelo, and just a 1-yard gain on the desperation flip to Bosch.
I think that you want that kind of pressure when you're setting up the inside screen like that. Everything was been set. They just put too much pressure on too soon. It could have been delayed just a little bit more, then Rutgers would have had a good football play.
Now there's Pearson Prelo. He had a couple of sacks in the opener at Akron. Good athlete, skills, toughness for the sophomore. 3rd down, 7 for the Scarlet Knights. Blitz coming, and the screen incomplete. A little flip intended for Melvin Cobbs. I think he was looking at the charging defense heading his way.
Well, that was a zone pressure blitz, and you're talking about Cornell Brown coming off in pass coverage. Just a great stunt, forced him to throw it. This is the basis of that pass defense, Virginia Tech, and doing a great job of it. Forcing the quarterback to throw short, run up and make the tackle if he catches the ball.
Just 9 seconds left in this first quarter. 10 on the line of scrimmage. They come charging for the punt. Almost got it. Makes a great Rutgers bounce. Angelo Harrison on a daring one-bounce pickup. He looked like a shortstop. And he was roped down immediately. Good coverage by the Scarlet Knights, Peter Clark. So through 1 quarter, it's been all Virginia Tech here in Blacksburg.
They're doing it all and doing it all well. The mark of a team that is on a run, and they certainly are on a run.
Now the 1 first down in reference to Rutgers' first quarter output. Virginia Tech has been dominant so far, and they start from their own 4. And nothing doing for Tyrone Stiff on that first down carry.
I think that's the first physical and mental mistake that Virginia Tech made, was when they picked up the ball rolling around inside the 5-yard line. And I think that was part of the problem. But I also feel very strongly that now Rutgers has got them in a hole, and see if they can keep them in the hole to get good field position for themselves with the score 14-0 as we go into the second quarter.
Edmonds and Stiff in the eye set in their own end zone. And Druckenmiller on 2nd and 10, looking deep. Going for Sean Scales. He made the catch, but he was out of bounds. Druckenmiller hung it high and deep out of the 36-yard line, but Scales ran out of room.
I think the pass by Druckenmiller got him out of room. He's got to throw it down the field more vertically and not so much on the sideline. Just right on the money. Excellent concentration and wonderful catch. But by the same token, it's got to stay on the football field. Good defensive play. Go ahead.
There's Frank Beamer as he looks at his offense. A 3rd down and 10 here. So far, Virginia Tech been good on 3rd down. Druckenmiller didn't find the man. He'll tuck it in, and bang, Rutgers defenders very close to the first down. Jim Druckenmiller, we told you about his physical strength, and he's put it on display here in the first half.
This is close right here.
They'll need it 10, got about 10, and they'll bring out the sticks to measure. And Charles Woolridge getting a little hot under the gun.
He's almost on the play. Here's just exploding on the hit and reaching forward. They given him everything that he had on the football play.
And Druckenmiller has picked up the first down on 3rd and 10. And did you see those Rutgers defenders fly backward?
Well, again, you're into the perimeter, and you're 6'4", 230 pounds. They're going to bounce a little bit because he's playing running hard, as you mentioned, how strong he is physically. He's certainly the strongest quarterback in the nation.
Charles Woolridge hearing some bells ring on the Rutgers sideline. This is the inside give to the fullback. He shows you a little wiggle, a little speed. Gets up to the 26-yard line. 11 yards for last week's reigning Big East Offensive Player of the Week.
Now, again, we're talking about a weak side sweep. The play is not contained at all, and Edmonds is able to get to the outside. Kelly comes over here and makes a real nice hit from his free safety position. That's one of the best tackles that Rutgers has made all day, and they needed it at that place.
Thomas Kelly, the senior out of Atlantic City, New Jersey. First down, Druckenmiller. Oh, he's got so much time. And that one better off that it was incomplete because the defense was closing quickly. That was Gil Ross gaining ground on Chiron Stith. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
I really think that Jim Druckenmiller threw that ball away. Threw it over the head of 38 so he wouldn't be in trouble because somebody was coming real hard on that play.
Backup quarterbacks for Rutgers, bookending Coach Billy Height, the running backs coach. One sends in the real signals, the other is a decoy man. Druckenmiller on the flip to Stith. Nice bit of workmanship offensively. A 1st down pickup, a gain of 14 yards for the true freshman Chiron Stith, finally corralled by Peter Clark.
1st down, Hokie.
Right now, it's an excellent call, a nice check off because they're playing the numbers game. And right now, the Rutgers defense is outnumbered into the boundary, and they're running the option over there and doing a great job on it.
Stith racking up some good numbers, and he got a terrific block downfield a moment ago from his tight end, Brian Jennings. With a 14-0 lead, Virginia Tech is moving again. Pocket closed down on Druckenmiller, and he loses 8 yards back to the 35-yard line. 93, the sacker, Chris Sabula.
Another one of the players that's been around for Rutgers for a long time and plays very well. And that's the quality of athlete they need at all positions. When you get those kind of people, you can play football. They just need to upgrade their talent level just a bit because they lost so many last year.
Well, Sabula's a first-year starter. He ran right around big T.J. Washington for the sack. That brings up 2nd and 18. There's a fastball to Cornelius White. Up to the 44-yard line. That's an 8-yard pickup, and that will make it 3rd down and 10. Corny White, a guy that played in the shadows a year ago of Brian Still, who is a terrific wide receiver for the Hokies, and Still now playing in the National Football League with the San Diego Chargers.
I think really what's happening to the receivers is they're making sure they catch, making sure they move the chains. Now it's a 3rd down, but they're not trying to run with the ball before they get it. Much improved wide receiver core, even though the talent level might not be there.
Well, the Hokies haven't had to punt yet today. We'll see if they can keep this drive alive. Look at the time. Look at the throw. Look at the play. Oh, my. Angelo Harrison. If he held on, it's a touchdown. Instead, Virginia Tech will punt it.
That would have been the game breaker right there. He's clearly beat. And wonderful pass right in the end zone. Just tried to manhandle the thing in the end zone.
Oh, right through the arms. You talk about a perfect toss. 56 yards in the air. Angelo Harrison had his man beat, but he didn't finish. Rutgers almost got to the punter, John Thomas. And the fair catch is made at the 20-yard line by Chad Bosch. No near fireworks here in Blacksburg. Still a 14-0 lead for Terry Shea. They'll try to pick up just their 2nd first down this afternoon. Stevens has Chad Bosch wide open. Big play here for Rutgers. Bosch on the step in. He gets all the way to the Virginia Tech 43-yard line. A terrific call on first down for the Knights.
It's the first positive field position they've had all day. They've started with 80 yards to go on the 20-yard line in 3 series. Just a wonderful football play, a counter football play with Chad coming out in the flat with a bootleg action coming out. The old waggle play, dumped it off to Chad Bosch. Down the football field he goes.
37 yards. How'd that play get so wide open, Coach?
It's a counter football play that with Chad coming out there all alone and nobody covering him.
And Myron Newsom able to catch up and make the stop after the big game by Rutgers. Their best play offensively so far today. Penalty markers down. Bosch, nice cut for Chad Bosch. He gets to the 28-yard line. A 15-yard gain for Bosch. All of a sudden, Rutgers moving well, but there are penalty markers.
Melvin Cobbs was offside, the fullback, with 1 man in motion. It's 2 men in motion, and you can't have it. It's going to be 1st and 15, which is, again, what Rutgers can't have happen against a football team like this. They can't get off schedule. They can't have mistakes like this, especially it knocks off another first down, Eric.
Coach Chad Bosch, talented backup last year.
We had an illegal formation, 6 men on the line. That's refused. We have an illegal shift, 2 men in motion. That penalty is accepted. 5 yards, repeat the down.
Rutgers only had 1 penalty last week against Miami. They get 2 on 1 play.
So you can see 32 in motion right there before the snap of the ball with 1 wide receiver already in motion. 2 men in motion, you can't have.
That's first down and 15 for Rutgers. Harper, the man in motion. Bosch again gets the call. Gets away from Newsom, gets away from Torian Gray, and Chad Bosch starting to show you what he's all about. An 8-yard gain. As Rutgers is moving, let's move back to our Big East studio.
And the update from the studio pit, one of 5 Big East matchups against the Big Ten. This is number 7 Ohio State, and Pepe Pearson leaping into the end zone. He has scored twice so far, and the Buckeyes are out in front of the Panthers 14-0. Let's get you back to Blacksburg, Virginia.
Thanks, John. 10:35 left in our first half. This has been Rutgers' best drive so far today. Harper to the top of your screen. Andy Holland flanked to the bottom. Stevens under the heavy rush. He nails it complete to Stephen Harper. And he's brought down immediately by Lauren Johnson, but not before a first down gain inside the 30 to the Virginia Tech 28.
I tell you, Mike Stevens they had a blitz on the football play. He stood in there and threw the football real well, but he also got this backside pressure, and I think you'll find that he also got some pressure on the inside and twisted his knee a little bit on the play.
And when they unpiled that one, Stevens was hurt. And that's a shame. Mike Stevens, who has won the starting job as Rutgers quarterback right now.
Mike Stevens and Chad Bosch, they've really dominated this drive down the football field. See if Corey can keep it going.
Those are the numbers for Valentine, and he steps in 1st and 10. Ball at the Virginia Tech 27. Valentine got a man. Andy Holland, who has the first down at the Virginia Tech 14-yard line. A 13-yard pickup on Corey Valentine's first toss since coming off the bench.
It's the 4th first down in the drive, I think, and they only had 1 prior to this in the first quarter. So this is a monumental thing, and everything's moving. Again, the old counter football play. They didn't hit the halfback in the flat this time. They went down to the wide receiver, hooking up. Only 1 coverage, and an excellent play by Corey. That's a great way to get started.
You could see his athleticism on the run, hit his target. As you look at the Scarlet Knights red zone production, 1st and 10. Bosch had a stop for the pitch, and Chad Bosch, tough, hard-nosed inside runner, earned that game.
Did I tell you before about Virginia Tech? Good tacklers. It looked like he was going to go for another 5, but he was stopped suddenly. The brick wall of Virginia Tech.
And they do the wave here in Blacksburg. It's for number 98, Waverly Jackson. He played at over 300 pounds last year, weighs in at a more svelte 286 here in his senior season. He's a quiet leader for this Hokie club. They say he shows the young guys how to practice. Bosch ripping through the Hokie defense. He gets near the first down at the Virginia Tech 3-yard line. And, Coach, all of a sudden, it looks like Rutgers front is winning the battle at the point of attack.
This is a great drive they put together. And you can see everybody on the bench, everything pick up in the Rutgers thing. And Chad Bosch is what he's like the beat guy going all over the place. Run here, run there, bounce here, bounce there. Very, very determined runner. And as Terry Shea said, he makes a difference today. And as we said, they've got to be able to run the ball to keep that football team on the field and doing a great job.
You know, they call him the heart and soul in New Brunswick. He had a great junior college career at Nassau Community College on Long Island before Rutgers. And here he is again. That time he ran right into John Engelberger, number 87. And coming quickly from the other side was Cornell Brown, the senior All-American candidate, whose name we have not called very often here in the first half.
He made one great play on the inside. I think he was on the sack with Stevens out of the game, to be quite honest with you. He's a force wherever he is, and made the tremendous coverage where they threw it on the 3rd down play that actually Mike Stevens had to throw away. He's a factor.
Cornell Brown, always a big-time competitor and production man for the Hokie defense. 8:05 left in the second quarter. Virginia Tech up 2 scores, but Rutgers is moving.
Imagine a 24.
He's got his right wrist taped. He came out a moment ago, and Corey Valentine in relief has performed well. Coach, that's how Rutgers is done inside the 20.
They've been a 60% football team right now. They have to be 100% to get back in this ball game. Key 3 football plays they're going right now.
That's Dick McPherson. I'm Eric Reed. Delighted to have you with us here in Blacksburg, Virginia.
Double tight end.
Fauntleroy near the goal line. Looked like he got into the end zone, but no indication. But Fauntleroy is a load at 235 pounds. He just put his head down and burrowed near the end zone. I'd be impressed with the way Rutgers has moved the football on this drive.
Well, again, now watch him bow ahead and watch where he is in relation to the end zone. Almost looks like he gets in, but he wasn't half a yard to go. But a great run. Just pushing that ball right in the end zone with power.
Well, Terry Shea has to like what he sees right now. His team looking for their first touchdown in the last 3 games. The quarterback kept it and did not get in. Yes, he did. Corey Valentine for the touchdown. Their first touchdown this month. And they are back in the football game.
You know, you talk about an official, you talk about the umpire making the call. He sees the ball is over, and he raises his hand. That's good officiating. Maybe the Virginia Tech crowd doesn't like it too much, but it's something you like to see with the Big East officials doing a great job down there and getting those hands up if a quarterback dives over like he did. Tough football play.
Corey Valentine on the quarterback sneak, sneaks in.
There's the umpire right there making the call. Sarah sees the play, makes the call. Good officiating.
Mickemeyer for the extra point. He nails it. And we've got a ball game here in Blacksburg. Rutgers goes 9 plays, 79 yards. Chad Bosch did lots of it. And the Scarlet Knights are on the board.
Now we have to check to see how Mike... The ball in 21. Rutgers goes down. It's a 14-7 football game. That's how big plays are, the individual big plays are in a ball game. Great comeback mentally and physically by the Rutgers football team. Down 14-0, almost 21. A play like that is a credit to the young men of Rutgers, the Scarlet Knights, and the coaching staff for keeping them that way.
This is Lee McDonald. He'll hit it soccer style and send it toward Antonio Banks, who will bring it out. And Banks steps out of bounds at the 13-yard line. So they lose 7 yards on that decision. And yes, we have seen some numbers put on the board in this matchup.
Well, you saw a very competitive football game with Rutgers winning. And now you see 49, 41, 45 by Virginia Tech. Plays, the scores going down by Rutgers all the way down, but now they're starting to come back 14-7, playing a very competitive game at this time.
Coach, this will be an interesting drive for Virginia Tech. See how they respond after Rutgers gets a touchdown on the board.
We already saw it on the kickoff, how they covered. It was magnificent. Kept them inside the 20-yard line on the kickoff. Now they've got to keep it going.
3 receivers for Jim Druckenmiller on 1st and 10. He is looking for Michael Stewie, who tried to make the leaping catch and could not. They'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
Again, with Virginia Tech is throwing the ball into the sidelines, and Jim Druckenmiller is taking the ball out of bounds. Even if you'd have caught it, you'd been out of bounds. You've got to get rid of it quick if he's throwing into the hash mark.
Druckenmiller already has a touchdown throw today of 5 yards to Cornelius White back in the 1st quarter. Tyrone Smith also has a 3-yard touchdown run for Virginia Tech. Smith and Edmonds flanking Druckenmiller in the gun. And this is the fullback, Brian Edmonds, gets a nice block and gets upfield to the 20-yard line. A pickup of 7. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 3 as Rod Sharpless, a passionate coach. He loves what he does, and his defense, I think, reflects his passion.
Rutgers is overloading to the strong side here. And they're running the weak side, the fullback to the open side, weak side, and very effective in the running game. He's hard to tackle by the defensive backs who have to tackle him. Again, this is a big play for Rutgers in terms of 3rd down.
Druckenmiller may be changing his call right here. And he keeps it. 1st down and more. Up to the 41-yard line. Another big gainer for the quarterback. 20-yard run on 3rd down and 3.
Number 28, Derek Ward, along with number 1.
Now, same thing that happened last time. They're going to the underloaded side, and they've got the extra man with the pitch to the quarterback. They recover the pitch that time, and Druckenmiller's taking it right down the football field, making sure of the 1st down, and running real hard and strong.
Ran right through Thomas Kelly's tackle. Derek Ward, the cornerback, finally brought him down. 6 minutes left, 1st half. 14-7 your score. Virginia Tech in front. Michael Stewie on the crossing pattern in the Rutgers territory at the 48-yard line. 11 yards on the pickup. Another 1st down for the Hokies.
Number 2, Crawford.
You've got to give tremendous credit to the offensive staff, the game plan, the running the option, running the delays, running the streaks.
An official timeout.
They're running with a no-huddle offense. It's amazing the progress this Virginia Tech program has taken and how well they're playing this game of football in all areas. It's a tremendous credit to Frank Beamer. I like what I see here. They're a contender in the Big East and for national recognition, the way they're playing each and every week now.
Well, ranked at number 18, defending Big East champs. A team determined to head to a 4th consecutive bowl game. 5.5 minutes to go now in the 1st half as Druckenmiller drops into the gun. As his man, Michael Stewie again. And Stewie, you can see why he's a favorite target of Druckenmiller. Picks up a 1st down, a 12-yard gain. Stewie, a most reliable receiver. Now, today's Big East Conference football game is copyrighted telecast of Creative Sports Incorporated. Any use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this broadcast without the express prior written consent of Creative Sports is prohibited. Rod Sharpless, the defensive coordinator at Rutgers. Seeing his old club, Virginia Tech, move it well. Druckenmiller has Angelo Harrison. Flanker screen. Look at Angelo Harrison go. Oh, a dash inside the 5.
Tremendous speed, wonderful execution.
Art Dreyer saved a touchdown, jumping on the back of the sophomore Angelo Harrison. Well, he had 2 catches coming in, did Harrison. 2 catches here so far. And it's 1st and goal at the 5. Or inside the 5 for the Hokies. Stiff. Fumbles. I think he got it back. Rutgers may have got it. Yes, they did. Well, Chiron Stith with his 1st turnover of the season, and it is a huge one. Charles Woolridge recovered the football, and instead of a Virginia Tech score, Rutgers gets the football back down by 7. So, a pretty good 1st half brewing here in Blacksburg. You love Jock Jam. stiff. First time he's coughed one up in his freshman year.
Well, that's just a tremendous hit on that play right there by Art. And what happens here, it's a first down fumble. You can't have those freshman mistake. Fourth down, it's a different story, but they also have excellent field position defensively with over 90 yards to go.
Aaron
now they
Brady,
stop running.
the linebacker, put his hat right on the football. Charles Woolridge recovered, and Mike Stevens is back in the ball game for Rutgers, and he strikes with a completion on first down.
Complete to number 86.
Walter King on the receiving end, a freshman out of Hackensack, New Jersey, his first catch in his college career.
You can see Mike Stevens getting a little bit more confident. He whipped that thing out there, didn't steer it out there. It makes a wonderful thing.
Coach here, Steve Tate, starting his first game as middle linebacker for the injured Tommy Morrison. It'll be interesting to watch how he weathers the storm today.
You know, for Steve Tate and plays like he does to take Tommy's place is a sign of a complete football team with depth.
Second down and 3 for the Scarlet Knights. They've got Melvin Cobbs as their lone setback. Stevens looking long. Was looking for Andy Holland, and that was excellent coverage by the free safety Torian Gray.
That was a kind of a gutsy throw because Torian had position on the play all the way and actually was in better position to catch the football than the wide receiver was.
Torian Gray, a senior out of Lakeland, Florida. He was a high school teammate at Lakeland Kathleen of former Miami Hurricane linebacker Ray Lewis. Lewis currently playing with the NFL's Baltimore Ravens, and Torian Gray hopes to join his buddy Ray Lewis in the NFL next year. Third and 3, Bosch fumbled it. Had the first down, lost the football, but Rutgers may have landed back on it and keep their first down.
Yes, they did. They've got it'll be a first down recovered by Rutgers.
Now, Coach, it looked like this would be a one-sided affair early. It was easy for Virginia Tech to go out to a 14-0 lead. But now, as we wind down in the second quarter, Rutgers very much in this football game.
They let him back in. They let him back in. But Rutgers, you have to give Rutgers credit. They have the ones that have been doing it. Critical luck play right there to keep the drive going. Doesn't even remember because they moved the chains on a fumble.
3:15 left in the second quarter. Andy Holland in motion. Bosch on the pitch. And Bosch ripping off about a 6-yard gain across the 30-yard line. So Chad Bosch, arms and legs pumping for the mighty Mite. He goes 5'9", a $175, but this is one tough competitor.
He's finding the little holes and just narrowly running all through the little holes he can and just going with everything he has. The running game is alive and well with Chad Bosch in the second quarter.
And just a second down and 3 for Stevens to look over. Looking long for Holland and overthrown. Antonio Banks closed the gap with Andy Holland. Holland's a pretty good receiver. He's a sophomore from San Jose and was a junior college All-American a year ago at Foothill JC out west.
What they've had great success with is moving the football down the football field with the bootleg action. But the number 2 back didn't get down deep and outside, and Mike actually was throwing the ball deep and out of the way. Third down and 3 now, but the fullback's got to slip out there so he's wide open like Chad has been doing from a halfback.
That's the second time on this drive, Coach. On second and short, they've gone long. Let's see what they do here on third down and 3. Stevens got his man, and Rutgers has a first down on the connection to Stephen Harper up near the 40-yard line. An 8-yard gain. Rutgers keeps the football.
Now Mike Stevens is getting hit every football play, but he's standing in there and taking the thing and making sure he gets the throw off on the first down. But they're after him.
Cornell
he feels
Brown.
all that pressure. You got to hand it to him. He really delivered the football and took the hit.
Cornell Brown was bearing down. He got the hit a moment late. And Terry Shea's offense finding new life here at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg. Bosch, nice cutback. Tripped up and taken down by Antonio Banks just when it looked like a big play could be developing. Banks stopped stops Bosch after 5 yards.
Well, he actually was an inside play that he bounced to the outside and actually was lucky to make the 5 yards, but it's an individual effort and a bounce out by him. Chad better not do that too often, though, because there'll be somebody screaming down from the outside on most football plays.
Clock is a factor right now, Coach. Minute 30 and counting left in the first half.
Well, he's got 3 timeouts. You get the football and keep it away from him. It's wise not to do anything but just try to let it run normally right now.
On first down, plenty of time. And another hookup, but that one's dropped.
Andy Holland dropped that one.
Yes, Andy Holland streaking across the middle. He had Steve Tate by about a step. Would have had the first down. Probably could have gotten out of bounds had he held on. Jan Bosch, he's been a most valuable member of this Rutgers team today after sitting out the last 2 weeks with a shoulder injury. His impact felt in a positive manner this afternoon for Rutgers.
I think that what they wanted to accomplish out of Mike Stevens and Chad Bosch, for stability purposes, has happened. 3rd down and 5. Mike Stevens in control.
Huge play here. Jackie Crooks, a freshman in motion, out on the pattern. Protection breaking down. Stevens running for his life. Cornell Brown finally brings him down. The sack man got one. That's his 3rd sack of the year and his 31st career quarterback sack.
Mike Stevens is competing, doing everything he can, trying to stay alive, trying to find a way to get the first down. That he knows they're going to be punting him. Just make sure you keep the ball, try to make the play. And this good, excellent play by the #1 defensive player in the country, Cornell Brown. Can he run or can he run?
Great closing speed for Cornell Brown. A week ago, Boston College double teamed him. Sometimes they triple teamed him. And he did not show up on the stat sheet with a single tackle. A junior college speedster in Walter Ford, who has not been back. Oh, almost got it. Ford has not been back to return punts since he fumbled 2 of them at Akron in the opener. But that Virginia Tech defense on the special teams again coming very close to blocking a punt.
Well, what you're talking about is, see, the snap is high into the left. That stops the timing of the thing. Give the punter credit for just getting it off because he hurried it. But again, the pressure causes these bad punts, so they're accomplishing almost as much as a block punt. And they're very aware of it.
Michael Stewie almost got there. See what Virginia Tech does with 45 seconds remaining in this first half. Second quarter that has not gone well for the Hokies. Duncan Miller stands and delivers, and Michael Stewie makes a diving grab up at midfield. Pick up of 14 yards. Now, Michael Stewie seeing a lot of footballs thrown his way today. Jim Druckenmiller out of the hurry-up offense. Marcus Gildersleeve out of the backfield. Dropped it at the 45-yard line. Good coverage by Aaron Brady, the linebacker.
Very aggressive coverage by Aaron, and it's almost close to being pass defense. The key right now is to keep them out of the end zone, keep them away from a field goal, and Rutgers to go in at 14-7. And what does Frank Beamer do going in at 4-7? He's got to get a momentum before he's going in. It's his chance right now to get in the end zone with 28 seconds to go.
2nd and 10. Fastball caught by Stewie again. He tried to get out of bounds, but the Rutgers defense would not let him. Peter Clark with a stand-up tackle, and Virginia Tech takes a timeout.
The end zone go into halftime. I think the Rutgers team will be satisfied. Frank Beamer will be doing some talking.
Jim Druckenmiller will look it over. He's got 4 receivers out plus a back, and he finds Marcus Gildersleeve, the speedster, but Aaron Brady, very sure tackler, is number 11. And the clock running.
Again, the clock is stopped for the first down, so there's 10 seconds to go, and I'm sure that Jim will be ready as soon as the clock is started.
Inside give to Gildersleeve, and that was snuffed out immediately by Chris Sabula, the senior from Manville, New Jersey. Got a big hand in there, and Gildersleeve took the spill. 4 seconds left in the half.
No, it's a tough call. It looks like an end zone shot. I think they were just trying to get in field goal position to get a shot in with that draw play. Jim Druckenmiller was right there with the timeout. With 10 seconds, they only ran 6 seconds off the clock. I think he even got it called a little bit quicker than that, but was slow getting the clock stopped.
Graham.
Not bad for
Caleb Hurd will set it up at the 47-yard line. So this will be a 57-yard attempt for the true freshman. And it will come out way short. And tip your hat to the Scarlet Knights for the second consecutive ball game. They are in a ball game with a top 20 team at halftime.
They did themselves proud. They fight, and that's great for them.
14-7 at halftime. Hope you enjoyed it. That is Antonio Banks. He awaits Lee McDonald's boot to get us underway here in the second half. A cloud cover, a little bit of a breeze. It's cooling off here in Blacksburg. Banks from a yard deep. Ridden down at the 24-yard line. And he was taken down by Kevin Williams. So Virginia Tech's offense so sharp in the first quarter. Let's see what they can do to tee things up here in the third.
I think that they've been sharp the whole ball game. It's just that they haven't got any more points on the board. A drop ball and a fumble is really, that's all that's happened to them. Antonio found a crack and almost broke that thing. Just got narrowly tackled. Excellent coverage by Rutgers.
Those are the numbers halfway through for the senior Jim Druckenmiller. He's got Brian Edmonds, the fullback. Chiron Stiff, the I-tailback. Druckenmiller keeps it, a play that worked repeatedly in the first half for big games. Rutgers adjusts just a 1-yard gain.
I think the inside pursuit is what helped on the play. Plus, he ran into the wide side of the football field that time, into the number side, so really didn't have him outnumbered like he checked off and called it so well in the first half.
That's Rashad Swinger right there. He has started 30 of the last 32 games for Rutgers. He's a stalwart up front for the Knights. They gave Druckenmiller 3 yards, so it's 2nd and 7. Stiff tripped up. And a nice play by Gil Ross. The linebacker charged in, disrupted the play.
I think the tackle did a great job of trapping. There was a trade counter, the old Washington Redskins play to the open side of the football field, counter football. I think Styrone, a freshman, should have stayed inside just a little bit more on the thing.
Stiff, he had 10 carries, 30 yards in the first half. He just lost 2 yards on that run. Intercepted. Peter Clark stepped in front of Cornelius White and picked off Jim Druckenmiller. And the table continues to turn here in Blacksburg.
Interception made by
again,
number 9,
excellent
Clark.
defensive football play by Peter, staying right on the coverage and diving in and making the catch all the way. Just wasn't open, wide side of the field, long throw, and excellent defense. Really poorly, the most poorly play that Jim Druckenmiller's had all day.
Peter Clark's first interception of the year. That might be. Actually, he had an interception last year as well, late in the season, as Stevens looks deep on first down, has a man, but he overthrew it to Andy Holland. And Jim Druckenmiller on the phones upstairs to his offensive coordinator. They could not have liked that choice or that throw.
Well, they were in a power offense and really didn't have the people spread out. They were in a power set with 2 I-backs, play action pass. He really didn't have the thing spread out where it normally to help the quarterback. I'm sure they're talking about the personnel and the displacement of the offense on that play.
Mike Stevens, first half, he went 7 of 12 for 98 yards.
Now, Mike had a chance to really hit a wide receiver open in the end zone. Andy Holland was right down there. He's got to drill that in there and make the play.
That's Virginia Tech being penalized, so Rutgers prospers even off the incompletion. Just a minute 30 in for the third quarter. Virginia Tech ranked 18th. They have a 12-game winning streak riding on the line. And right now, Rutgers knocking at the door for the tying score. The Terry Shea's club showing great improvement from last week to this. First down and 10, Appletech 19. This is Bosch, and he cannot run away. That was Waverly Jackson, number 98.
Waverly just pushing up the football field and gave no option for Chad. Couldn't go inside, couldn't go outside, had to go lateral, and then the pursuit gets to the football. Excellent defense. So there's the push-up field, control the offensive man, drop him back to the backfield. Chad wisely just bounced around, gets down with the ball. Now it's second down and 10, second down 11, still moving.
Comes in front of Bosch. Here's the end around of Stephen Harper. He's got some blockers. And he is very close to a first down. Needed 11 and got back 10 of them. Did Stephen Harper on the flanker reverse.
Yeah, Steve had a chance to get the first down of the play and should have just driven for it because he just fooled around and got himself bounced out of bounds. So he makes a great big third down football play out of it.
Pearson Prelo, the rover, finally belted Harper out of bounds. But an 11-yard gain, just shy of a first down. It'll be third down and short for Rutgers at the Tech 10.
Now offensive line of Rutgers, can you blow those people out of there so Rutgers can get a first down?
Gary Fauntleroy didn't get it on his first effort, and I think he's short. They gave it to their big sophomore fullback on third and short.
They just drove quick, just a quick opener to the fullback, but Virginia Tech answered the challenge. The defensive tackle just moved right into the inside, cut everything off. And again, you don't, this doesn't show in the statistics, but we're talking again about Cornell Brown diving right in front of the ball carrier and slowing him down. And even though nobody says he's got a tackle, he's a presence on each and every defensive football play.
It is about a half-yard shy of a first down. Now, Cornell Brown slowed down Fauntleroy, but it was Waverly Jackson that put the wrapper on him. Jackson, one tough run stopper for Virginia Tech. He's a country kid. He said he got his strength from chopping a lot of wood. He just chopped down the Rutgers running back, and Terry Shea, he's going to go for it on fourth down, less than a yard.
4th and 1. And instead of taking the field goal and staying in the ball game, it's a big gamble on Rutgers' part right here because he's going to get everybody jacked if they're able to stop this football play.
I like this football game getting better as it grows older. Stevens gonna throw, got a man, touchdown Rutgers. Rob Seeger, a reserve tight end who is a tri-captain today, wide open in the end zone. Stevens got it to him, special delivery.
Well, it was, Seeger still had to make quite a football catch and scared the living daylights out of me. Tremendous call, and that's what you're talking about when you're a head coach and being able to make a gut call like that.
Well, they got Torian Gray, the free safety, on a blitz. Seeger alone in the end zone. And you better believe Stevens was celebrating his first touchdown pass for Rutgers.
That's Terry Shea making his money as a head coach. Excellent call all the way around.
Nick Mickemeyer nails the point after. And hold the presses. Virginia Tech ranked 18th in a dogfight with the upset-minded Knights of Rutgers. First collegiate touchdown throw, and give all sorts of credit to Rutgers on the road. You know, this has been a very resilient group. That's what Terry Shea told us he liked most about his team, and their resiliency on display here at Lane Stadium this afternoon.
Well, I think he's being kind to everybody. It certainly is him with a terrible, disappointing loss to Navy, and then to bring him down here and have him play like this. And, you know, national TV against Miami. It's a credit to Terry Shea and that coaching staff for keeping these young men out.
Virginia Tech came in a huge favorite today, but history shows you that this has been a down-to-the-wire matchup. 12 minutes plus left in the third quarter. First and 10 now for Tech. They're on 20. Stiff on the pitch. Stiff on the run. He makes it to the 33, maybe the 34-yard line. A 14-yard gallop for the freshman, Chiron Stiff.
again, it's the option, dive option football play. He's coming right down the line of scrimmage. The last man is right there on the quarterback. There's nobody left, and the wide receiver's blocking down on the cornerback. It's just an excellent football play. The option's been good for him all day.
Art Dreyer brought him down. He did gain 13. And this is Stiff again, catching the swing pass, getting a great block. And he gets another first down up at the 46-yard line. What a block T.J. Washington threw to spring Chiron Stiff for another first down gain for Virginia Tech.
It's a quick screen to the wide side of the football field, and there is the great block by T.J. Washington. That's what makes a lineman feel good. He gets national attention, blocking somebody over. Congratulations, T.J.
T.J. weighs in at 313 pounds.
Imagine how he runs a play like that at 300 pounds.
His younger brother Todd starts at left guard. He goes at 308. Druckenmiller. That's his man. This is Sean Scales. Penalty marker down. And I think they're saying that Scales' knee was down when he
Rod Sharpless made the call there. And they got it going. The knee was down. I don't know if it was or not, but Rod called it and made the official make the throw come out. Let's see if the knee goes down, but the defensive, is he making the catch with the knee down? That's what I question. I think he picked it up before he caught the ball. Can we get back there and see it maybe?
Well,
I knew his knee was down, but I think he picked it up just before he caught the ball. But Rod Sharpless, his knee is down. Yep. Rod Sharpless is right and made the official throw the flag, and they're moving the ball back. It should be, all the play should be was just a reception right there, put the ball down. There's nothing more to it.
Well, there's obviously a penalty infraction against Virginia Tech. The official's
really?
talking with Art Dreyer. There's Rod Sharpless. Interesting how Terry Shea decided on him. Shea was watching the Sugar Bowl game last year, soon after getting the job to be Rutgers head coach, and he sees Rod Sharpless being identified as the co-defensive coordinator at Virginia Tech.
Holding. Offense. Penalty refused. Results of the play, second down.
Rutgers declining the penalty, but Terry Shea landing himself a very good defensive coordinator in Rod Sharpless. He leaves Virginia Tech, and you can see the work he has begun in New Brunswick.
I still don't quite understand what the play was all about. It was a completed pass over there, but I don't know what the penalty was and why they refused it.
Druckenmiller has his man, Sean Scales, looking for running room, gets a block, turns the corner, and Sean Scales made much out of that one. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line, a 23-yard pickup, so Druckenmiller went right back to his junior wideout.
Peter Clark, the defensive back, came all across the field to save this thing, but you're going to see a great screen coming back across the field. Look at that block right there. Look, there's another block right there. They're coming down the field. Now watch Peter come into the thing all the way to the other side of the field and drives the man out of bounds and saves the touchdown.
And Jimmy Druckenmiller liked it. A 28-yard gain and a 1st and 10 for Virginia Tech. We are tied at 14. Just under 11 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Marcus Gildersleeve. He is hammered down
Number 15.
by Taman Bryant at the 22-yard line. Short pickup for Marcus Gildersleeve, a redshirt freshman out of Clarksville, Tennessee. Gildersleeve only 5'7", 166, but he can fly.
On that play, Tamar Bryant did a nice job eluding the block by the wide receiver, sitting in his hole and taking on the ball carries to come. We've seen some good defense being played by Rutgers here. It's not just the inefficiency of the offense. Rutgers is playing good defense also.
2nd and 8. Druckenmiller wants the football, and Rutgers has it back. Taman Bryant with the sack, and Chris Sabula recovers the loose football, and that's the second big turnover Rutgers has forced deep in their own end.
Frank Bemis says you don't know where they're coming from and when they're going to come. He comes right into the thing, wide open. I don't think Jim checked him because he didn't even see him. His back is to him. That's when it's dangerous because he's just about ready to throw the football. And here comes the defender. Cameron Bryant again just makes a big play over there, comes right back and makes this play on an inside blitz.
Well, that was his team-leading 4th sack. Taman Bryant, he was on the scout team last year for Rutgers. He has emerged, and now Rutgers has it back on 1st down. Stephen Harper eludes one man, has a first down, and is into Virginia Tech territory at the 45-yard line. A 19-yard gain on first down. We're seeing that West Coast offense, short passes and yards after the catch.
Well, you see two teams playing pretty much the same offense, but what happened here is the Rutgers team is starting to believe they're in a football game. They think they got a chance for an upset. This is what makes everything exciting, and you can see the Virginia Tech is starting to wonder a little bit. It's a big mental thing going on right now, as well as a physical game.
The longer you let an underdog live, the louder they bark, and the worse the bite. Here's Fauntleroy. The big fellow rumbles for 3, brought down by Cornell Brown.
The longer you let an underdog live, the bigger the bite. I think you're right. I think you're right.
Now, Coach, you mentioned earlier today, Virginia Tech turned their season around and maybe their program around a year ago when they were 0-2 and beat Miami here. Rutgers is hoping for that kind of launching point with an upset this afternoon.
I also feel that moving the football, the second down is not long second down. It's second down 5 or 6, just right where they want to be.
Ed Bosch brought down by the free safety Torian Gray at the 39-yard line. Picks up a couple, and that'll bring up a third down and about 4. No, they will call it back. Illegal procedure against Rutgers.
The thing that stopped Rutgers, or when you're playing a team like Virginia Tech, anybody, you can't afford to get off schedule. You can't afford to have those 5-yard penalties and make a 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5, a 2nd and 10. That's where they want you. Now they're going to come after you, and really hurts the pressure on Rutgers.
Terry Shea, what a change for him. He's an Oregon grad, a West Coast guy, head coach at San Jose State, offensive coordinator for Bill Walsh at Stanford, and last year the quarterback coach up in the Canadian Football League for the BC Lions, and he's trying to turn around this Rutgers program.
He's doing it today. That's how you turn it around. Play football like this. That's how you turn the program around.
On 2nd and 11, ball juggled and dropped. Intended for Marcus Luna at tight end. Their starting tight end, by the way, Coach Jason Curry, not playing so far in the third quarter. He suffered an ankle sprain in the first half.
See, and what happens with Marcus, he tries to run with the football before he puts it away. The thing that we were talking about earlier with Virginia Tech receivers, making sure they make the catch. That's the discipline of the program. That's what Marcus got to learn as he joins a Division 1A program.
Big play for Rutgers. Trying to convert a 3rd down and 10 into a first down. They get 3rd and 11. Time for Stevens. Runs out. Down he went. Brad Baylor, Danny Wheel, and of course, Cornell Brown.
What happens, you have a penalty, you're 2nd down and 4, you're 3rd down and 3, it becomes 3rd down and 10, you have to stay in the pocket, try to throw, you get sacked. Now the momentum has changed again, and you can see the life that's coming to the Virginia Tech team. You can't allow things like that happen. You're going to see a big change when the offense comes out now. They've recaptured the momentum.
2nd sack this afternoon for one of the nation's best pass rushers in Cornell Brown. Look out! Jared Slovin flips it away, and it's intercepted. Now they're calling the play dead back at the 38-yard line. Another poor snap and another extra special play by Virginia Tech special teams.
No, I think the kicker got a little bit rattled there. That's the last thing that he can do is start tossing that ball around. Take the hit, whatever you have to do. Don't make a bad play worse by making a bad play yourself.
Jared Slovin, he dropped the snap. It was a perfect snap from
right in his hands. And then his knee goes to the ground right here. Again, now you've got to congratulate these officials for being right on top of the play. That's what they're here for. But the Big East officials in the Big East game are doing a great job today.
Well, the teams trade turnovers. This a big opportunity for Virginia Tech with 8:14 left. Third quarter, tied football game on the Hokie start on the Rutgers 38. Druckenmiller stands and delivers to no one. Ball overthrown, intended for Brian Jennings. Overshot him.
And number 19.
I think when you have Gil Ross covering what Virginia Tech is trying to do is make the big play as they get the momentum, put the kill shot on. But Gil Ross individually makes the play so they can't get the ball into number 81. Jennings is in the football game, huh?
Those are Druckenmiller's numbers. He's got Angelo Harrison and Michael Stewie. Harrison to the bottom of your picture, Stewie up top. The I-backs are Edmonds and Skiff. And this is Chiron running for daylight. Has a first down, but there is a penalty marker down. If it stands, a 12-yard ramble for Chiron Stiff.
Yeah. The mark of a great running back, make a miss, and he certainly made a miss for the first down. Penalty on the play, though. Let's hear what it is.
Illegal procedure against Virginia Tech.
Now, it puts them off schedule a little bit, but they're in great field position with their off schedule, so they can either run the ball, get in field goal position.
5 yards. Repeat second down.
Repeat second down with a 5-yard hatch on it.
That'll get you a little upset.
Well, especially when you had a first down inside the 30-yard line. That's how the magnitude of it is. First down in about on the 27-yard line versus a second down and long here.
Druckenmiller, look right, foot left. This is Brian Edmonds with blockers in front of him. First down. And Edmonds finally brought down at the 14-yard line. Brian Edmonds, give him some room to run, and rumble he will.
Yeah, but what a great executed play. Double screen, fake, wide side, throw it back in the side. And again, you're talking about, this is an offensive lineman's delight. Todd Washington, again, running down the football field, leading the football play. Those are things that make everybody look good.
And for a big guy, Edmonds can run with a football. There's a tailback living in that fullback's body somewhere. He gained 25 yards. Gil Ross is shaken up.
Big boss.
Virginia with a coach Dick McPherson. I'm Eric Reed. We are enjoying this football game. 18th ranked Virginia Tech in a dogfight. Brian Edmonds just went 29 yards with a little flip from Druckenmiller. He loves to run the football, but he's a punishing blocker as Virginia Tech's fullback.
First and 10 on the 14.
This is the freshman Stiff, and he has no room to go anywhere. Stop made right at the line of scrimmage by number 2, Norris Crawford, a senior linebacker out of Hialeah, Florida. And Crawford was a starter earlier this year, but he is playing with a nagging hip and ankle injury today. So no gain on first down. Look at what Virginia Tech has done so far today, compiling 357 yards of offense, just 14 points to show for it. Brian Edmonds rips away from Crawford, but a group of Scarlet Knights waiting for him at the 17-yard line.
Crawford is disappointed in himself, but he was the one that made the loss possible by making the pit, making him bounce. Pursuit comes over there, takes care of the play. Now the hat goes right on Jim Druckenmiller. The quarterback, this is when the great quarterbacks make the plays that are necessary. On 2nd and 15, he did it with the double pump screen. Now let's see what he does here with the coming out of the shotgun.
On 3rd down and 13 at the Rutgers 17-yard line.
Play action.
You called it. Angelo Harrison makes the catch. Gets away from one man, but not away from Charles Woolridge. Number 87 out of Riverdale, Maryland. The senior held on, did not let go. So Virginia Tech will attempt their second field goal try this afternoon. Earlier, Shane Graham missed on a 57-yarder. This a more makeable distance. They'll set it up just shy of the 25-yard line, so this will be about a 35-yard attempt for the true freshman, Shane Graham.
And his buddy Holden from a true freshman from the same high school, coming to Virginia Tech together, a nationally recruited kicker.
And he hits it. So Shane Graham connects on the field goal, and Virginia Tech takes the lead back after 14 unanswered points by Rutgers. A little short kick taken by Stephen Harper at the 12, and he is taken right down. Terrific work by Anthony Midget, covering on special teams. Midget, the freshman out of Clewiston, Florida, covered it well. And there's a look at the scoring drive. 6 plays, 20 yards. And the freshman Graham nails the field goal. Virginia Tech in front, 17-14. This becomes an important possession for Mike Stevens and Rutgers.
And Anthony Midget sets the tone for the defensive mode of Virginia Tech. Now, Mike Stevens, you can really declare yourself as the #1 quarterback by leading Rutgers up the football field right now.
This crowd has been quiet all day, but they're starting to hoot and holler here in Lane Stadium. Stevens rolling right. Can't find a man, and it's broken up. Looking for Luna, and Torian Gray dislodged the tight end from a football. Marcus Luna, a junior college transfer from Sacramento, California, and Torian Gray showing you why he's been a celebrated Big East performer. First team All Big East 2 years ago, second team All Big East last year.
Another terrible penalty as far as it looks like a lineman downfield because he waited so long on the thing. Somebody must have just come down field on the thing. Rutgers cannot go out of schedule. They need the first down, second down and 10. If it goes first and 15, it could be a problem.
No loss, Dale. Ineligible receiver. Downfield offense. Penalty. Second down.
They got him a second long just where they want him. Refused the penalty.
5:34 left in the third quarter. Terry Shea, that's been a familiar pose for him. He looks at his offense.
Now we'll see some pressure coming out of these Virginia Tech. They're coming after Stevens right now, and he knows it. They're getting everybody over there to protect. They just faked it. They got him into a quick protection, and they didn't need it.
Look out. Loose football. Crunching hit by Danny Wheel, and Virginia Tech has it. Well, you smelled it, Coach. The Hokies had their ears pinned back. They were coming, and they got their man, and they get the football.
They get him to check off, and they didn't protect the backside on the thing. Just an excellent football play. Look at Danny Wheel. He turned. Those are what you call big plays. And these are the kind of plays that why you play football, why you enjoy it. He just comes back to the inside, and the tight end just didn't slow him down enough.
Oh, the big wheel ran right by Kerry Ware, the senior offensive tackle from Bayshore, New York. And the pride and joy of Williamsburg, Virginia, Danny Wheel, creates a huge turnover. So Jim Druckenmiller takes over. First and 10 at the Rutgers 15. Stiff bangs it inside.
And now going to number 38, going up the middle.
That's where you feel for the Rutgers defense. Danny Wheel and Brad Baylor are getting the job done, two first-year starters for that Hokie defense.
Right now is when the Rutgers defense has to grow up, keep them off the touchdown scoreboard. They're in field goal range all the time, but this is when they can do it, and Rutgers has done a great job defensively.
Edmonds and Stiff out of that eye. Druckenmiller lost it, and Rutgers has it back.
They've answered the call again.
Well, that high-risk offense on the option. Druckenmiller a little shaky with a pitch. And let's see when they unpile who had it. Virginia Tech keeps it. I thought that Roger Wingate collected the football, but it looked like Chiron Stith is the man that covered it up.
The man he pitched it to came right back on them. Now, this is a play by Jim Druckenmiller where he's got to hang on to the football. He doesn't feel the man right inside the inside. He was playing the other option man on the play. Lucky, but you need a little bit of luck to stay 12 wins in a row.
Chris Sabula, the man that knocked the football free from Druckenmiller.
Now they're letting the quarterback stay in the shotgun. They still got the tight end in the football game.
It's a dynamic play in this game. 3rd down and 9. Virginia Tech. They lead it by 3. Blitz is coming. Druckenmiller almost hit Cornelius White, who had his hands on it, but couldn't hold on to it.
Just a little bit behind him. Should have had the ball just a little bit more out in front of him. That's an easy catch. He should have caught the ball, but a very, very difficult catch if he makes it. Watch him has to lean back into the thing, which makes it just a little bit tough.
So, Coach, a moral victory for Rutgers. If they could hold Virginia Tech to 3, they'll still be just 6 points down.
Yeah, but moral victories are something that are not good for Rutgers right now. They need a big upset, and that's what they're striving for.
Graham from 31 yards out, and he's got 2 in a row. First from 35, there from 31, and Virginia Tech has forged in front thanks to 2 turnovers and 2 Shane Graham field goals. They lead it 20-14.
They're taking advantage, not making a mistake, Virginia Tech is, and getting points on the board. Now one more series, they've got to squash Rutgers and then see what happens from there. Rutgers has got to move the ball down the field. Offensively, he's got to pick it up like they did in the second quarter. This is the third quarter. They can't wait to the fourth quarter this time.
There's Shane Graham and Caleb Hurd, high school teammates, collaborating here at Virginia Tech as well.
You know, they've got to be happy here at Virginia Tech. Both of those young men are just down the road. This is the state of Virginia. They've got Virginia boys. He's a nationally recruited football player. 10 years ago, I don't think he would have come here. Now he believes in Frank Beamer and the Big East and Virginia Tech football. He just comes up the road, and what a great experience he's going to have. And everybody down in Pulaski High School, how are you pronouncing that?
Pulaski.
Well, if you're from New York State, up there in the Salmon River with those great fish, you'd call it Pulaski.
Jimmy Kibble puts his foot into it. Having Alvin Cobbs 4 yards deep in the end zone. 3:56 left here in the third quarter. Virginia Tech leading it by 6. Rutgers getting set for offense. And coming up next week, we'll be at the Orange Bowl. High-powered Miami with Danielle Ferguson and the Magic Man, Magic Benton, hosting the Pitt Panthers with Billy West. A noon kickoff for another Big East showdown at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Hope you'll be with us next Saturday. Eric Reed with Dick McPherson, our Big East crew. Happy to have you along for this ride. See what Mike Stevens and the Scarlet Knights can come up with here. Stevens has his man, Stephen Harper. And Harper picks up a first down up to the 37-yard line. So a 17-yard hookup from Stevens to the senior Stephen Harper, who does have sprinter speed.
You know, that's a perfect pass route against the defense that was presented by Virginia Tech. I think Rod Sharpless has had a little bit to do with the pass offense in there because they're running out and putting Torian Gray in a real tough position. You have Trevor trying to get all the way over the cover.
Harper's a big play threat. He caught 7 touchdown passes last year. This is Bosch off tackle. And up to the 42-yard line, a 5-yard gain on first down for Chad Bosch.
You're seeing a real good offensive performance, well coached, quick count. These are the things that Virginia Tech would like to move around and shift around and confuse a bit. The quick count takes that out of the play, and Chad Bosch is really hitting the holes hard and fast.
They're a much better football team now that Bosch is back. I think if they had Chad Bosch against Navy, they win that game. Without him, they lost to the midshipmen 10-6. And now they're trying to rebound on the road. 2nd and 5. Fauntleroy straight ahead, but a penalty marker right before the snap.
Yes, the tight end number 85 just went off. I think he's a little concerned with our good boy Cornell Brown and draws himself offside the thing, and I think they're going to call it against Rutgers.
Coach Cornell Brown, as we listen to the call.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense.
Coach Cornell Brown, the celebrated pass rusher. We heard all week his coaches describe his play to us. And one of the things they said is that he plays with leverage. Translate that in the layman's terms.
Leverage in the layman's terms is you've got great balance, you've got your back arch, you've got your butt down, your knees bent, and you're always on balance. You can't be knocked off your feet with great power and speed and all your strength behind you. How's that for an easy explanation?
Liked it. 2nd down, 10 to go. Screen set up. Bosch cannot get away from Waverly Jackson.
And Waverly Jackson makes the difference. The wave is for Waverly Jackson because without him, there were 3 men coming in. Tremendously executed play. Waverly Jackson, just a tremendous defensive effort.
All that wood
shopping. The execution by Rutgers was outstanding.
All that wood shopping, home in South Hill, Virginia. Coming in handy for him now. He took down the ball carrier. No gain. 3rd and 10 for Rutgers. 2:18 left, third quarter. Virginia Tech in front, 20-14. Look out. Danny Wheel gets there.
Danny Wheel from one side, Cornell Brown from the other. Great coverage by the secondary. Mike Stevens has got no place to throw the football. Therefore, he's got to stand in the pocket, third down and long. Can't throw it away. That's what makes the sack.
A one-arm sack for the former walk-on, Danny Big Wheel.
Here comes the pressure.
Garrett Slovin did not handle it well on his last boot. Look out, almost blocked. Anthony Midget nearly got it. Walter Ford, he's had a nightmare returning punts. He does pick it up. And he's still on his feet. Walter Ford turning a near disaster into an artful punt return up to the 32-yard line. You know, it was interesting, Coach.
He didn't have a nightmare.
His first
he causes a nightmare.
He fumbled his first 2 punts at Akron in the opener, and today his first game back there since.
Well, they want him. He's so exciting. I know that Frank Beeman wants him in the football game, and he's wild and crazy, but good. And I think they've just got to corral a little bit, and they've got one of the most exciting punt returners that comes around the East Coast. It's a great play.
Virginia Tech in front by 6. Minute 15 to go, third quarter. Tyrone Stiff. And he ran right into Aaron Brady at the 34-yard line after a 2-yard pickup.
Made by number 11, Aaron Brady.
Now, Chiron Stith on that thing was lucky to get the football. There was a poor exchange problem and bobbled a little bit. And lucky he didn't get hit a little bit sooner. If there had been penetration, we'd have been in trouble on that play.
Coach Aaron Brady for Rutgers, number 11, good football player.
Yes. He's been there a lot, and he continues to be there.
Rutgers doing a nice job corralling the freshman Colt, Chiron Stith. Modest numbers for him. Miller over the middle. Not there for Michael Stewie. They do like that route, and they do like that receiver. But that time, Thomas Kelly, the free safety, had Stewie well covered. Thomas Kelly, who played most of last season with a cast on a broken thumb. He was a wishbone quarterback in high school back in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Now he's the quarterback of Rutgers defense. Third down and 8 for Jim Druckenmiller. You see the numbers for him. He threw for 235 yards and a couple of scores in last year's win against Rutgers. Standing in, can't find a man. He won't find the first down either. Picked up 4. He needed 8.
He had good protection, just didn't have it. Just excellent coverage by Rutgers. Wisely puts the ball away and runs and protects the football. And they're going to punt. They're going to punt the ball with a 20-14 lead and play defense against a team that's struggling on offense right now, not really moving the football down the field.
Nice hit by Roger Wingate, number 44. Rod Sharpless defense hanging in. That was an important stop for Rutgers. It ends the third quarter, and it will get Rutgers the football back, trailing.
With only 1 quarter to go, and Rutgers getting the football, I think you've got to give them a lot of credit for the way they're playing and keeping their poise and staying after people.
Well, they went after John Thomas, the punter. Bosch settles under it, gets by 1 man, has some room. Chad Bosch, daring punt return, advances it to the 31-yard line. That's where the Scarlet Knights will take over 1st and 10. Very good football game here in Blacksburg, Virginia.
Well, you got to admire Chad, the way he goes after the football and the power, and you can see him walking off the football field right now. The Virginia Tech has got to him a little bit hit, but he's a hard-working, dedicated football player. You got to like the way he plays, and you can see why Terry Shea wanted him back on the football field.
Yeah, he sits down for a moment. Damon Hamlin, a senior out of Wild Lake, Maryland, wears number 30. He's in the backfield, along with Melvin Cobbs. Check it, that's Jackie Crooks, the freshman in motion. Batted down. I think it might have been Steve Tate, the middle linebacker, that batted the Stevens pass to the turf.
Steve was right there. It was a throwback play, but just couldn't get it over Steve. Excellent defensive call, but I think you see the play is right because the tight end is coming back to the inside.
It was Steve Tate. First ever start for the former walk-on out of North Canton, Ohio. That has to make him feel pretty good.
Well, he read the keys right. The backside line was showing pass, and that's why he backed off and played right in the roll. He should have been a little bit more aggressive with the run show.
Tate's got a lot on his mind. He calls the defensive signals today as well. Gary Fauntleroy on 2nd and 10, straight ahead for 3. The much anticipated performance of Gary Fauntleroy. They waited a year in New Jersey for him to get his academics in order. And they hope for big things out of this sophomore from Swedesboro, New Jersey.
Now, right now, 3rd down, start of the 4th quarter. Who's going to set the pace? Is Stevens going to make the play, or are they going to start with 3 and out and give it back to the offense? Nice protection.
Had the man open, but he bounced it in front of Stephen Harper. So
You've got to give credit to that offensive line of Rutgers. Everybody says they can't stop that powerful rush. They've given Stevens protection. He only can go 2 or 3 minutes. Then he's going to start throwing the ball away. He knows it's him. He knows it's him.
Mike Stevens, who, like Jim Druckenmiller, oddly enough, celebrated a birthday on Thursday. Druckenmiller turned 24. Stevens at age 22. Angelo Harrison back in punt return formation. Slovin got a good one out of bounds. So no return on this one. Virginia Tech will get the football in good position at their own 38-yard line, leading by 6.
Here, and it pays off for him.
Early moments, 4th quarter. Here at Lane Stadium, Eric Reed, Dick McPherson. Glad to have you along for our Big East game of the week. Been a good one. Stiff gets the corner. Stiff in the Rutgers territory to the 49-yard line. So Chiron Stiff gains 13 more yards.
Now you're talking about a very, very selfish fullback on the situation right there. Watch the block by the fullback, just laying out, making him allowed to bounce to the outside and make the run. Just tremendous pressure by the Rutgers corner, but Edmonds lays him out, flattens him out, and Stiff is able to run to the outside and make a 1st down.
Chiron with 60 yards rushing in 16 carries. He moves the chains, he moves the football. Druckenmiller over the middle, broken up very, very nicely. Intended for Cornelius White. And again, the free safety, Thomas Kelly, came crashing in.
He's a senior. He's calling himself out of the play. Must have got dinged just a little bit as he's heading out. But again, it's a very, very difficult position to play in this defense. And you have Torian Gray on one side, Kelly on the other, playing excellent safety defensive football on both sides this afternoon.
So Thomas Kelly banged up. He comes out of the game, and Shin Black, number 15, a true freshman from Rialto, California, steps in at free safety. 2nd and 10. Druckenmiller throws it back to his fullback, Edmonds. Gets a great block. Still rumbling. Look out. Shin Black finally derailed a runaway locomotive. 26-yard gain for the fullback, Brian Edmonds.
Those are what you call game changers. Edmonds makes a great block. Now what happens? Edmonds runs over people, wakes everybody up on the bench. They're already ahead 6. They're going to put this ball in the end zone for Jim Edmonds to show they're going to play just as tough, mean, dirty, and nasty as he is. That's what excites everybody on the team.
Oh my, Rutgers bodies littered all over the Bermuda grass turf here at Lane Stadium.
That's how you make touchdowns, by exciting your own football team.
I'll tell you what, Edmonds is a punisher. Druckenmiller trying to pull away from Charles Woolridge and from Brian Yeager, number 64. But Jim Druckenmiller, big, strong, and tough. He looks up to Jim Kelly of the Buffalo Bills, and you could see some of Kelly's style and demeanor when you watch Druckenmiller play.
They're the old PA guys, you know. I just hope he doesn't drink as much beer as Jim Kelly. That's what I hope.
I'll tell you what, Druckenmiller, a student of the game. He watches,
yes, he is. They love him, yeah.
He watches more films than Cisco and Ebert.
Who wouldn't like the way he plays the game? Tough.
On 2nd and 8, Edmonds, the fullback, got none.
Okay, now here's a play for quarterback. We need a big play and execution by Jim Druckenmiller on this play. It's third down. We're down near the end zone, long yardage. This is when we need something to carry. Here comes Jimmy Edmonds out.
Edmonds, you can see that
they're going to 4 wides here.
that high thigh groin region taped up outside the trousers.
Yes, sir.
Way to do it. Clock moving with 11:36 left in the fourth period. Virginia Tech in front by 6. Big play here. And Michael Stewie with the lunging reception just shy of the 8-yard line.
Here's decision time.
Just shy of a first down.
Yeah. Poor Frank's got to make another tough one, but this puts it away with a field goal. Very wisely, he's going to go get 9. You can't beat him with 8. And you get this great kicker, and you've got to let him know that you're going to use him to put ball games away. Now, the next time they come down, if the score's the same, he'll go for it.
Oh, and you've got a good kicker. Let him do his work. Shade Graham, 2 for 3 this afternoon. This will be a 25-yard attempt.
Just amazing. Not only is he good, he looks good. Great technique.
Well, it's been all Shane Graham for Virginia Tech here. Shane Graham, he and his high school teammate Caleb Hurd, they're going to have a swell time at their high school reunion 10, 20 years from now. There's Hurd and Graham. They've been a successful duo, both in Pulaski, Virginia. And
Dublin, Virginia.
And
Pulaski
here,
High School.
Harper on the back pedal. Kibble sent it 8 yards deep in the end zone, but the special teams and the kicking game in particular have shined for Virginia Tech this afternoon.
Well, what's happened here, they haven't been able to put the ball in the end zone, and that's the key for Virginia Tech. They've got to get that ball in the end zone, and now we have to wake up the echoes as far as the Rutgers offense is concerned, because they haven't done their part in terms of field position and moving the ball for their own field goals.
Coach, everybody talks about the West Coast offense that Rutgers employs. Let's talk about West Coast defense, which both teams employ. Where did this defensive style, the 8-man front, all begin?
Well, the 8-man front's been there for a long time, but this is the University of Washington, Donnie James, that really perfected this defense. But to be honest with you, Virginia Tech's taking it one step further.
Stevens going deep for Harper, who's out there and makes the grab at the Virginia Tech 44-yard line. Lauren Johnson brought him down there, but a 36-yard strike. Stevens to his big play wideout, Harper.
Watch Steve Harper on this great throw and catch. It's a wonderful catch, but he's saying, I can do this all the time. Just throw me another one. It's a wonderful play. Look at it. Why not? Look at it.
Stevens actually underthrew that. If he leads Harper, he's still running. 10:25 left in the fourth. A 9-point lead for the home team. Looking to extend their winning streak to a 13th game. Stevens going deep again for Andy Holland. Juggling attempt, but it bounces away in the end zone, incomplete. Well, you gotta like Rutgers going for broke here.
Well, I think they've changed the field position here dramatically. They're challenging, and Andy Holland's got to make this catch. These are the catches that keep you in football games. Tremendous throw by Mike, right in his hands. He's got to keep his feet and make that catch. Those are the frustrating things, but Terry Shea is really going after him.
Lauren Johnson in coverage, a sophomore from Miramar, Florida. He was there. Second down, 10 to go. This is Holland coming in motion. The delay. Jackie Crooks. First carry of the game for the true freshman, Jackie Crooks. He hails from Union City, California, coming off a sprained ankle. Tate able to get him down. Let's go back to our studios. And I'm sorry, we just want to welcome all of those who are watching the Penn State Temple game. We're in Blacksburg, Virginia. Virginia Tech leading at 23-14, but this has been a struggle all day long by the heavily favored Hokies.
And Rutgers on the march.
Third down and 8 to go. Stevens pumping once, delivering, incomplete. Intended for Walter King as time was running out for Stevens. So that'll bring up a 4th down and 8.
You got to admire Mike. He's staying in there on third down, taking the hits, and he's taking some beauties today. This is tremendous pressure here, and now we're going to have to punt the ball away. But I can't emphasize enough that Mike Stevens, for a fifth-year senior, only playing his first really season, he's got to impress a lot of people.
Yeah, just a moment ago, got to meet Brad Baylor up close and personal.
The protection by the offensive line was long enough. It's just that Mike had to stay there and try to get the thing done because it was fourth down.
Well, the punting game has not been kind to Rutgers today.
They don't need much of a punting game here. The 28, 30-yard punt would be excellent right in this situation. So I don't know what kind of pressure that they'll put on here, because I don't think they need any with 23-14. They'll probably back off a little bit, try to just get a rhythm and see if they can get some kind of a return.
Coach, the way this game began looked like it was going to be one-sided. Virginia Tech with 14 points in the first quarter to lead it 14-0. Might it have been too easy, too early for the Hokies?
No, I think that the drop pass and the fumble inside the 5-yard line took the heart right out of them, and took them a little while to adjust. And they're back into it right now with complete control of this football game. Now we'll see if we get some pressure on, and also to see exactly where they're going to get the ball offensively. Moving right up, getting the ball about on the 19-yard line.
Garrett Sloven hung it high. Angelo Harrison with a fair catch. The Scarlet Knights are hanging in. Virginia, where you feel Jim Druckenmiller and the Hokies need to put this game away.
Yeah, mistake-free, time-consuming drive, score a touchdown, then they show they're a championship football team.
This has been Druckenmiller's best day this year. And look at Chiron Stith, the freshman, awfully shifty as he swivels those hips and heads north and south. That time a gain of 9.
And you know, you're talking about 9:50 left of the ball game. They should eat up the clock, eat up the yardage, eat up some points on the scoreboard. They're up 9, pretty safe, don't make any mistakes. And you saw Frank Beeman looking out on the football field saying, let's just show them who we are and where we're coming from. And you've got to admire the Rutgers defense, how they've hung in there and kept the Virginia Tech off the scoreboard from a touchdown standpoint in very, very tough situations here in the third quarter. Here we are in the fourth.
Well, Frank Beamer watching Chiron Stith do his thing again. He did have that first half fumble inside the 10-yard line, but it's been a pretty good day for a remarkable 18-year-old freshman. They will be just shy of the first down. 9:44 remaining here in the fourth quarter on what's been a beautiful afternoon for football here in Blacksburg, Virginia.
They predicted some rain, but we certainly haven't seen any. It's just a perfect football day here in Southwest Virginia. Magnificent college campus, great area.
Oh yes, the Blue Ridge Mountains in the background. Stith moving ahead, picks up the first down. So Chiron Stith, he'd like to ring up his second 100-yard day as a Virginia Tech back in just his third outing. Of course, he was thrown into the Akron game after Ken Oxendine went out with an injury. It happened so quick. Didn't have a chance to be nervous, but his knees were knocking last week up in Chestnut Hill when he started his first game.
Did he get a couple of touchdowns in that game? None, I guess. I guess Edmonds got him, didn't he?
Stith and Edmonds each had a pair of scores against the Eagles. Stith scored his 5th touchdown of the year earlier today. Druckenmiller took something off that one. Rutgers saying he trapped it, and now the officials agreeing. And there's Ken Oxendine. He was poised for an excellent senior year. Hurt in the 18th play of the opener. But, Coach, they expect him to resume practicing on Monday, and they think they'll have him back against Syracuse next week. And they will give him his starting job back, and they'll be that much deeper now that Stith has emerged.
That's exactly right. He's had all this great experience. Watch this catch now. You see that he bounced it. The officials can't shield it. The umpire, Sarah, comes in and makes a nice call and waves him off dramatically. But let them know it was an incomplete pass.
That ball was coming in end over end. That's a better strike to Angelo Harrison. He stays inbounds and picks up a first down for the Hokies at their own 44-yard line. Angelo Harrison, an improving young receiver for Virginia Tech.
That's what you call field presence right there, making sure that he gets over the downs marker so he moves the chains. Another first down, the time-consuming, mistake-free offense that we said a championship team has to have. They're putting together right now. It's almost like Frank Beamer has ordered it. And when he orders it, they listen.
Michael Stewie making his 6th catch of this football game, advancing to the Virginia, actually into the Rutgers 48-yard line. Want to welcome back all of you who are watching our other Big East telecast today, Penn State and Temple. We've had a good football game here this afternoon. Eric Reed with Dick McPherson, 18th ranked Virginia Tech. And Edmonds turn, and he turns the corner and rumbles with company out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Peter Clark ran him out. Lucky not to get rumbled over, but 13 more yards for number 32.
Well, again, he's big, he's strong, and he's much quicker than he looks, and he's much faster than he looks. A very, very powerful force in all areas, blocking and running the football. And poor Peter Clark has got his hits as a cornerback this afternoon. He's done a lot of tackling, but he's not giving up. None of them are giving up. They're making sure that Virginia Tech bleeds for everything. It's a credit to Rod Sharpless and the Rutgers defense, the way they're playing. Time-consuming. We're almost at it now, a minute and a half. How much time would use?
Druckenmiller spins away from trouble, going deep for Stewie, who had to turn 360 degrees to try to track it down and could not. Strong pressure was coming on Druckenmiller from Norris Crawford, the linebacker.
And you got to give Jim Druckenmiller credit for the spin move that he makes on this thing to get away from it and throws the ball down the field. But Norris ought to be happy to know that he's the one that stopped this thing from being official, because number 31 was open all the way down the football field.
If they were playing flag football, Coach, Crawford would have had a sack. He got Druckenmiller's towel, and that was all.
Now you see why people like big, strong quarterbacks are going to be in the pocket, because they can take some hits and get back and play some more.
Tyrone Stiff, one-handed grab, eludes Crawford. Doesn't get much out of that one. On 2nd and 10, he picks up about 3. But Tyrone Stiff shows you the skills that make you marvel for a true freshman. Can run it, and you see he can catch it.
He's a wonderful catch. And Haygood come out there to make a nice football play, but I think it developed just a little bit too quick. They got to give a chance for Jay to get out there just a little bit more on the play. Nice catch. You can see that he hurried the throw, and the whole thing was not timed up right, which is what caused it to happen that way.
Druckenmiller has to use a timeout. The job this afternoon.
Well, they've been on a 2.5-minute drive and eating up the clock and going 79 to 81 yards, trying to get the ball in the end zone. That's what needs to be done here right now, and they're doing it very well.
Ryan Edmonds can't arm tackle the fullback. He runs right through it like a turnstile. Into the 17-yard line goes Edmonds. Another 14-yard gain for him. And a nice afternoon for Brian Edmonds. The reigning Big East Offensive Player of the Week has rumbled 52 yards in 10 carries. He's a double threat. He'll knock you down as a blocker, and he'll make you miss as a runner.
Well, he's into the defensive backfield, and they got 180-pound guys trying to tackle a 250-pound man. Once he gets through there, he's very, very dangerous. Credit the Virginia Tech offensive line and how they're moving those people out of there.
That time Edmonds was chopped down by Rashad Swinger. You know, it's been a big influence on Brian Edmonds, another former Virginia Tech fullback by the name of Tony Page. Tony had a brilliant 10-year career in the National Football League, most noted for his blocking, and that's what he's been able to stress to Edmonds. Block first, run second, and you'll join me someday as an NFL alum from Virginia Tech.
I think that he's on the right track. There he goes, touchdown.
Brian Edmonds on cue into the end zone. A Virginia Tech touchdown, and there's your knockout punch.
Yep, that's what, almost like Frank Beamer ordered that they had 79, 81 yards to go. That's when Jim Druckenmiller was tested, and he passed the test. Now, if you're a defensive back, I want you to take a look at, here's something coming at you, 250. You go ahead and hit him.
Nobody did. A 19-yard romp.
He's had 2 nice weeks at BC, then right back here again. Jim Edmonds is making himself the fullback in the East in 1996.
He was suspended, did not play in the Akron game, but in control of this football game.
And they have mastered it in the special teams play with the kicking game. Here's Jimmy Diddle. His only thing he's doing with this team right now is kicking off the end zone every time. He's got to be frustrated, but he can't be too frustrated. Play with anybody in the United States of America last year, again this year. It's exciting to see the program that they've got down here in Blacksburg.
Yeah, it's become a national program. They've had so many more media requests.
Yep.
They've hired 3 full-time employees at the Sports Information Office in the last year or so. Stevens had a man, but Stephen Harper couldn't haul it in. Coach, I want to take you back to something you said a moment ago. When Virginia Tech took possession, you said this would be a telling drive for them. It turns out to be their most effective and longest drive of the season, 11 plays, 81 yards for the biggest score of this game today.
And 3.5 minutes. It's almost like what the doctor ordered, Frank Beeman. Scoring drive, just you see it right there on your screen right now. Congratulations, Virginia Tech. Come on, Rutgers, you got to get moving.
Stevens from behind was hammered down by Danny Wheel. Danny Wheel having a big afternoon. Let's go back to our Big East studio and John Sanders.
All right, thank you very much, Eric. Indeed, a big game. And here's an update now from that Texas-Notre Dame battle. This is Ricky Williams for the Longhorns, a 12-yard gain. And the Longhorns are beginning to move against the Fighting Irish. At this point, the game was tied 17-17. It's Williams once again. He'll take it into the end zone, forcing his way across. And that makes it a 24-17 Texas. Back we go to Eric and Dick.
Thanks, John. They got a good one brewing there. We've had a good football game most of the day here. Stevens hanging in and completing it to Stephen Harper. I'll tell you what.
They gave him the
Johnson,
first down.
Number 12, the corner. If he's got you in his grasp, he's not letting go. But it is a first down or close to it for the Scarlet Knights.
I think Steve Harper is an excellent receiver. That was moved the chains right on the money. Even with the pressure that was put on there, he still was able to make the play go.
There's Stephen Harper. He's had a nice afternoon for Rutgers. Under 6 minutes left. And Danny Wheel jumping on the back of Chad Bosch to bring him down. Danny Wheel, a first-year starter, having his best day of the year. There's what's coming up for the Hokies. A big one at the Carrier Dome next Saturday, and big ones ahead at Miami, and then home against West Virginia and the Virginia Cavaliers. And for Rutgers, they're off until October 5th. We'll see them here on our Big East game of the week, October 5th, at the Dome against the Orange.
You and I will be there watching it.
Looking forward to hanging out with you up in your town.
That's it.
Penalty markers flying. Jackie Crooks had the handoff. Number 30, Jackie Crooks, running back that the Rutgers people are excited about. He led the state of California in rushing as a high school junior. And, Coach, they think that Jackie Crooks is the heir apparent to Chad Bosch. They like the future of Crooks.
Well, I think that, thank goodness they had Chad Bosch this afternoon. And the future for Rutgers is right now, and it looks well because it looks like they brought the program with Terry Shea. They're playing as hard, as good as they can, and that's what everybody in New Jersey, that's all they can ask for in 1996 out of the coaching staff.
Second and throw for Mark Stevens, but he wants a timeout. Just under 5 minutes. For the best offensive linemen each week here at Virginia Tech, they wear it with pride.
I think that's Mr. Washington that has it on with that bad ankle sitting there. He knows he's got a win, or he thinks he has a win, and kind of relaxing.
Yes, Todd Washington, the 308-pound junior out of Melfa, Virginia, His brother T.J. Washington, a senior starter at right tackle for Virginia Tech. They both played for their dad, Tony, in high school.
Well, we were with them young men yesterday, and just a wonderful thing. The setting here now, and with all the winning that's going on, makes for a very, very happy camp here in Blacksburg. And nobody knows that better than the football coaches. When you have a winning program, it just makes the whole campus just come alive.
Now, this is blue-collar heaven here in Blacksburg. They revel in their reputation, and they love being a hard-nosed football team. Harper had it, but could not bring it home on the flip from Stevens. That stops the clock with 4:51 left in this game. And through the early part of this season, Coach, it looks like Rutgers is tough enough and good enough to hang around good teams, but not quite good enough to beat a good team yet.
Well, you know, I'm impressed as the game goes on with Mike Stevens. You can see why Terry Shea has him. Harper makes one great catch, but he's dropped 2 passes in this series that he should have caught. And those are the things that you can have. And that's what's an improvement in the Virginia Tech team. The receivers in 1 year have really learned how to hang on to the football.
3rd and 21 to go for a first down. And Stevens was in a rush for his life. Steve Tate, Brad Baylor, and Big Bad Cornell Brown were closing in fast on the quarterback, Mike Stevens. He's finding out that the hot corner in baseball nowhere near as hot as the quarterback position when they're charging after you.
Well, I think they're 2 different sports, but a quarterback in football has got to be one of the most exciting and demanding in any sport, and we've got a lot of people counting on you, and I'm sure Mike is having a lot of fun here this afternoon.
Now let's see if the adventure continues for Walter Ford back in punt return formation. He never signaled fair catch, so the adventure does continue for the junior college transfer Walter Ford. Good thing he was able to hold on under the duress from Peter Clark on special teams.
Well, I think he's going to get Frank a few more grades. He's a little different when it comes back there catching that football. He wants to go.
Here's Walter Ford. James Crawford also checking into the game, number 13. Number 5.
What I like about Virginia Tech again now, they're making sure Al Clark gets some work in here, so he's ready to go if they ever need him.
Yes, their offensive coordinator Ricky Bussell told us yesterday he wants to get Al Clark as much work as he can. Gildersleeve, Marcus Gildersleeve, dropped for a 4-yard loss. And we talked about that blue-collar mentality. The lunch pail defense. The most valuable defensive player each week has the honor of carrying the lunch pail.
Brandon right there carrying it. He was the player of the week. He carried it up to practice each and every day and put it there. And yeah,
that's a great tradition. Lunch pail attack. You know, they look long and hard for just the right lunch pail. And believe it or not, it was Rod Sharpless's mother-in-law's neighbor that came up with a lunch pail.
Up in the garage in New Jersey. The key to it all is the pride that kids take in that kind of an honor. Just getting a lunch bucket, being able to carry it around for a week.
Druckenmiller watches Al Clark. He hands it off to Gildersleeve, who shot the gap for a big gainer. Needed 14. He got them all. Let's go back to our studio and John Sanders.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. We do have an update now from Austin, Texas. The Longhorns leading by 7, driving to put it away, but James Brown's pass picked off by LaRon Cobbins. So the Irish fighting for their life late in the ball game. This is later in the possession. It's 4th and 5. Audrey Denson on the pitch on the sweep into the end zone, and that ties the game. Notre Dame and Texas tied at 24 with 2:24 remaining. We have about 3 minutes left in Virginia Tech. Let's take you back to Eric right now.
Thanks, John. He's keeping track of it as usual. Another big hole for Marcus Gildersleeve on 3rd and 1. He picks up about 6. Coach, how valuable is this for Al Clark, the backup, and perhaps the heir apparent at quarterback when Jim Druckenmiller graduates after this season? How important are these type of moments for Clark?
Well, this is what he's got to do, is show people that he's. But you also look at Druckenmiller sitting on the sideline, just cheering the heck, signaling to him. Everybody's having a good time. The running back here in this situation also is trying to find a place, and Frank Beamer's told us and told them we're trying to find out who's going to help us win in 1996. So don't mess up if you have the opportunity. That's what everybody sees here. And the Virginia Tech coaching staff wisely is making sure these people, they're not concerned about running up the score, just making sure they have a chance to play everybody and find out who can play in the games that count.
Well, here is your updated current NCAA longest streaks of excellence. Two-time defending national champ Nebraska alive and well at 26. Virginia Tech about to notch their 13th consecutive win. And how interesting, it all started a year ago this weekend. After the 0-2 start for the Hokies, they beat Miami here last September the 23rd. That win was the catalyst that vaulted this program to its best season ever. They clicked against the Hurricanes, and they haven't looked back. Matter of fact, they haven't lost since. And besides the big win against Miami, they routed Syracuse last year, won at Virginia, and the crowning accomplishment, biggest thing to ever happen to this town, Virginia Tech beating Texas decisively in last year's Sugar Bowl.
Well, Blacksburg, Virginia Tech going to the Sugar Bowl, playing an outstanding football program like Texas in now the Big 12. The Big East showed themselves so well in both bowl games, with Syracuse winning the Gator Bowl and them taking the Sugar. It was just a wonderful New Year's Day for a lot of people here in Blacksburg, Virginia.
Al Clark, a sophomore out of Washington, D.C. They're going to look at that Rutgers defense on 1st and 10. Big hole right up the middle for Gildersleeve. Dax Strohmeyer able to bring down the back. An 8-yard gain for the redshirt freshman, who's become the change of pace runner for Virginia Tech. He's now their 3rd tailback once Oxendine comes back. As you take a look at the other side of the coin, the disappointment felt by Stephen Harper and the Scarlet Knights.
You ought to take it in the locker room and go to the bathroom. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that out on the football field. I mean, he's got to catch the football when it's thrown to him. Stay with the football program. The game isn't over until it's over.
Once again,
Second down
number 50,
and 2. Aaron Brady tripping up Gildersleeve, just a little shy of a first down. Interesting view. Stephen Harper face down. The Scarlet Knights.
He'll hear about this one.
They will drop to 1-3, off until their October 5th date at Syracuse. Virginia Tech with the win will go to 2-0 in the Big East, and they will improve their record to 3-0 overall. Gildersleeve on another dash. That time he was knocked down by Mike Sandy, number 14. He picked up the first down with a 10-yard gallop.
You know, the Shelly Ellison again, this tremendous delay of the football. Just timed that thing up, let him make the block to the outside, kicked him out, and went up on the inside of the thing. And just a great football play. I think we have to make sure that we give credit to the backup linemen that are coming in the game right now, blocking and moving this ball down the field, eating the clock up. We're in the last minute of the game. And it goes to show you the class of Frank Beamer. Just wanted to get the good experience, keep the ball on the ground, not embarrass anybody, take a nice 30-14 win and go home.
Oh, Clark put it on the ground with that errant pitch to Gildersleeve. They will lose 8 yards, or nearly 8 yards on that play. But with the win today, Frank Beamer moves even with Frank Mosley.